Visit Sunshine Network. We're the first in Florida sports.
David Eckstein with a nice backhanded stop, but it's not good enough as Vaz is able to beat it out for an infield hit and an RBI. Alabama takes a 1-0 lead here in the top of the first inning at McKethan Stadium, Perry Field in Gainesville. Those of you watching Dodgers-Orioles baseball, we welcome you to the University of Florida, where the Gators are hosting the Crimson Tide. Florida number 8 in the nation, Alabama number 10. And a good start to the first inning for the Crimson Tide on a single stolen base throwing error and an infield hit by Vaz. Joe Caruso at the plate, and they've got him picked over at first base.
Now, it's not really a smart play right there because you got the pressure on the pitcher. Chances are he wasn't going on the pitch, and he catches him leaning the wrong way. You can see the move right there. I'll tell you, that's one of these borderlines. We talked about it the last time Sergio pitched, and we'll get into a little bit today. But that move, as you can see, clearly got him on the throw. Sergio, there's an imaginary plane, about a 45-degree plane, and if you want to step more towards first base on that side, and Sergio was right on the border.
Breaking ball is high to Caruso, evens the count at 1 ball and 1 strike. Joe Caruso, not off to a great start this season, but is hitting .338. Last year he hit over .360 with 14 home runs. That'll go out of play.
Caruso's a guy that they're just happy to have back last year. Did not sign after he was drafted last year. And boy, I tell you, you get a guy to come back like that, it really helps the program.
That ball's hit into left center field. Casey Smith cannot cut it off. It'll be a double for Caruso. And Alabama has 3 straight hits off Sergio Rodriguez.
How important is that pickoff now, Larry? I mean, I don't think it was a stolen base situation for Vaz.
The third baseman, number 2, Andy Phillips.
And this pitch is right over the plate, and Caruso does a nice job keeping the hands back and riding it out to the alley.
That'll bring up the cleanup hitter, Andy Phillips. Phillips moving up a notch in the lineup from last night with the left-handed pitcher on the mound. 457, that's a nice number. Curve is high, ball 1. Sergio Rodriguez, even in his good outings throughout his career, tends to struggle early. One of those guys you feel like you want to jump on him right away, because if he gets into a rhythm and starts changing speeds on you, he may be tough to beat. A little bluff towards second, nothing going on.
Well, Sergio got himself in trouble early on with the 0-2 pitch that he laid in there for Tidwell, the leadoff hitter, and you can't dwell on that. You have to just keep going, but still in a jam here.
There's a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Andy Phillips, sophomore from Demopolis, Alabama. Alabama, Florida, LSU, all 20-10 last year in SEC regular season action, and all expected to be at or near the top of the league standings again in '97. Back in plenty of time with Joe Caruso.
That's really tough, Larry, for a left-hander to spin all the way around and pick a guy off of second base. Unless the guy is off with the pitch or is just clearly not paying attention, it's tough to pick a guy off if you're left-handed on that move.
1-1 pitch, foul tipped into the glove of Hudson.
Looked like Phillips was trying to go right side on that pitch. There's a big hole between David Eckstein, the second baseman, And Brad Wilkerson, the first baseman, big hole on the right side.
Eckstein almost directly behind second base, trying to keep Caruso close, and Wilkerson shading toward the line a little bit. That is a bunch of runs. That is hit right side. Derek Nicholson near the track, on the track, reaches up, makes the catch. Tagging and going to third on the play is Caruso, but a nice play by Derek Nicholson, who was questionable right up till game time this afternoon.
Yeah, he got hit with a pitch last night, and they had temporarily scratched him from the lineup as they went to take him for x-rays. They were negative, at least we assume. We don't have an official word. And here he is going right side, keeping his hands back, and really drives that ball. And Nicholson makes some fine plays. That ball got out there a lot further than a lot of people thought when it left the bat. Caruso heads up, tagging up and going to third.
I would be one of those people.
Yeah, sure.
They're going to appeal that he left early, and the ruling is that he did not.
There's AJ Lastaglia, who does his summer umpiring at least the last 2 years in the Northern League.
Runner at third with 2 down. Dustin Moore in there, and he takes a strike. Dustin Moore has power. 10 home runs last year. 8 already this season. Big right-handed hitter. From Hattiesburg, Mississippi. Fouls it off the end of the bat.
Yeah, one of the power guys they counted in their lineup, and right now just needs a little old base hit right here to knock in another run.
Alabama as a team, 34 home runs in 19 ball games. Getting a lot of guys hitting it out on occasion. Freshman shortstop Ty Martin handles that chance. And the inning is over, but Alabama gets on the board. 1 run on 3 hits. 1 error. 1 man left on base. It could have been more for Alabama, but the Crimson Tide takes the lead at the end of a half inning of play. Alabama won. The Florida Gators coming up to bat here on Sunshine.
Florida baseball.
Here it is, the no-holds-barred world of military aviation, the way you'd expect it with the Challenge of Flight 97. More close calls, more true stories, more incredible footage, exclusively here, not sold in stores. See what works and what doesn't, with all the facts, all the information, all the details. Fly low and slow over a carrier deck, wheels up with nowhere to go, missiles on target, bombs gone wild. See the triumphs, the tragedies, and the final seconds when all that's left is the ejection seat. Call now and join tens of thousands who own a series unlike any you've ever seen before. The Challenge of Flight 97. Own it. Enjoy it. Do it now.
Order the Challenge of Flight preview for only $5 and receive a free pair of aviator sunglasses. Other tapes will follow about every 4 weeks. You may cancel at any time or return any tape for a full refund. Call 1-800-652-2112. That's 1-800-652-2112.
Well, Alabama gets on the board in their first at-bat, and now Florida comes to the plate to take its first swings this afternoon here at McKethan Stadium, Perry Field, on the campus of the University of Florida on a beautiful Saturday afternoon. Coach Andy Lopez, in his 3rd year with the Florida Gators, got career win number 500 earlier this season. His lineup today has David Eckstein at second base, Mark Ellis at third, and Brad Wilkerson at first. Derek Nicholson, with the sore leg, still in there in right field. Casey Smith bats 5th in left field. Chuck Hazard drops down 2 spots in the lineup for the first time, trying to get his stroke going as the DH in the number 6 spot. He's followed by Ty Martin, Josh Hudson, and Brian Ogle.
The second baseman, number 18.
Defensively for Alabama, the outfield left to right, G.W. Keller, David Tidwell, and Dustin Moore. Vaz is at first, Caruso at second, Duncan at short, and Phillips at third. Behind the plate is Matt Frick, and on the mound, right-hander Pete Fisher. Fisher, a newcomer to the Alabama program, and his first pitch misses down and away for ball 1.
See his numbers on the year, 4-0 to 307. 29 innings, only 25 hits. You like that? 9 walks and 20 strikeouts.
Down low, it's 2 balls, no strikes to Eckstein. He was at the University of Maine last season and had a pretty good freshman year for a Maine program that has really struggled in the 90s after having a great stretch of the 70s and 80s. But he had a 3.92 ERA in 14 starts as a freshman for Dr. John Winken.
And that's what happens a lot of times when there's a new coach. They'll let guys transfer out. You can see that stat right there. If he gets on in the first inning, the Gators are undefeated and 7-7 when he makes an out.
Well, 3 balls, 1 strike, the count to Eckstein.
He's a ground ball pitcher, is Pete Fisher. Fastball, slider, change.
Grounded right side. Florida wins. Florida wins. No, it's not that simple.
Well, if the formula holds true, they do. Everybody can go home. Read about it tomorrow.
They can't change the channel.
I'm talking about the people here.
Oh, okay. Well, we'll see if that number continues to work magic for Florida as Eckstein does get on to lead off the first inning. That'll bring up Florida third baseman Mark Ellis. Ellis had an outstanding freshman season and has improved on it this year with power. He's hit 1 home run all last season and already has 5 this year. 18 RBI to go with the 5 home runs.
And you saw David Eckstein with 12 RBIs in the leadoff spot, so you really are amazed at the 25 that David Tidwell has put up in the leadoff spot in only 19 games. Granted, the competition the Gators play admittedly tougher even by Coach Wells.
Throwback to first. Nice try by Frick, but getting in ahead of the tag of Vaz was Eckstein. Yeah, Florida today playing its 14th game against a nationally ranked opponent. Alabama playing its 2nd.
Yeah. There's no question. The Gators' schedule has been phenomenal. As we said, 5 weekends in a row against perennial College World Series teams.
Next week, they finally get a break in the schedule. They go to Baton Rouge to take on LSU.
Exactly. Exactly. There's a breather for 3 days. I read in the paper today it's already sold out up there in Baton Rouge.
And that's something. There goes Eckstein. The throw's a good one, but Eckstein's in ahead of the tag with his 15th stolen base of the season. So David Eckstein gets himself into scoring position for the Florida Gators and also continues his attack on the record books. That is his 75th career stolen base.
He gets such a good jump. This throw isn't even necessary, but I'll tell you what, Frick does a nice job even making it close. That's about as good a throw as he's going to make. Eckstein with an outstanding jump.
Here's the pitch, and it's down low. 3 balls and no strikes.
Well, Fisher digging himself a hole here, no question about it.
Fisher coming into this ball game 4-0 on the year. Solid 3.07 earned run average for the sophomore right-hander. But he misses ball 4, and Florida's got 2 on and nobody out. So we'll have a meeting on the mound for the Crimson Tide of Alabama. Head coach Jim Wells goes out there to talk with his pitcher, Pete Fisher, and the catcher, Matt Frick. Wells and Lopez have really created a fast friendship in their short time together in the SEC, probably in part because of the fact that they entered the league together, and in part they have similar personalities in terms of being demanding of the effort. Just play hard is a phrase they both use all the time, and demand that of their players, and seem to have a lot of similarities in the way they approach the game.
They really do, and Wells' story is quite unusual. I mean, he was a pre-law student at Northwestern State and was talked into helping a high school team or high school age players play baseball off the campus and kind of parlayed it into an assistant job at LSU.
Coming up at 8:30 tonight on Sunshine Network, be sure to stay tuned for live coverage of the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. First round action from the O'Connell Center in Gainesville. Florida International, the Golden Panthers, taking on the Lady Gators of Florida right here on Sunshine. Brad Wilkerson steps in and he takes strike one. Wilkerson is up the power level in 1997. He had 9 home runs all last season, already has reached that number. Been hanging around the 400 mark most of the year. And he takes that just a little off the plate, 1-1. You could see from the reaction of Matt Frick that he thought that one had caught the outside corner. Wilkerson, the all-time leading hitter at the University of Florida for guys with at least 200 at-bats. Career average now at .403. And it's going up. If it stays fair, hooking toward the corner. That ball is foul. Just foul. You knew it was going to be close when it left the bat. No argument from Gator first base coach Rick Eckstein.
Just had too much tail on it too quick. There's Rick Eckstein. He had a good view of it. A.J. Lastaglia made up his mind right away. He does a lot of front foot hitting, and just as you could see clearly in front of the screen.
Great look from the guys in the truck. Thanks. Although it'd be more fun to second guess. 1-2 pitch, slap left side, and that's foul. So Wilkerson has just missed a 3-run homer, just missed a 2-run double.
If this was a game of cricket, we wouldn't be here. He'd be out. He'd be still running. No foul lines in cricket.
Yeah, but they break for tea after 4 innings or something.
That's right. It would just be a perfect scenario here if he hits one right up the middle.
And now Wilkerson calls time as Fisher takes longer than Wilkerson would prefer. Pete Fisher, who's had a good time of it since joining the Alabama squad, making his 5th start, his first 4 starts, all victories. And he's averaged just over 7 innings per start, but having a tough bottom of the 1st inning today. 2 on, nobody out, and 2-2 the count to Wilkerson.
They need to get at least 5 or 6 innings out of Fisher, and if the Gators could put together a big inning here, that would really work to their favor.
Pickoff play at second, but Eckstein ahead of the throw, so Duncan does not bother with the tag. Brad Wilkerson out of Owensboro, Kentucky, freshman All-American last year. Combination pitcher, hitter, defensive standout as well. And there's ball 3.
I always get a little worried when pitchers worry a little too much about the runner when they have All-Americans up to the bat with 2 runners on. You know, you want to look the guy back. If you're worried about him going, step off and fake a throw. But your concentration should be on Wilkerson here.
Do you start the runners with nobody out? 3-2 to Wilkerson.
Well, there's no question that David Eckstein has the ability to steal third even with a left-handed hitter up. I say if I think Andy might go ahead and try it here. I mean, it's not going to get much better. The only better scenario would be is if a left-handed pitcher was up.
Ellis has just 3 steals over at first, but stole 19 last year as a freshman. They have a bluff. Eckstein was going, but there was no one there to throw it to.
And see, the runner, you know, he's not in trouble if there's no one there to throw it to, because he sees where the second baseman is. If the second baseman's not close, he knows he can't get picked off. Doesn't matter how much he's fooled by the pitcher. If he's got a big lead and there's no one coming over to cover, it's impossible to get picked off.
The runners go. Swing and a miss. No throw is made, so it's a double steal on the strikeout of Wilkerson. Florida has runners second and third.
Well, you had your guys where you wanted them to go, so why not send them?
The right fielder, number 11, Derek Nicholson.
So David Eckstein with 2 stolen bases is at third. There's Mark Ellis standing out at second base. For Ellis, his 4th steal of the season. And let's see if Derek Nicholson can drive in some runs. Nicholson second on the Florida Ball Club with 23 runs batted in, hitting over 400. Sore leg and all, fouls it back, strike 1. You know, we were told, I guess about an hour and a half before game time, that Nicholson was out and was being taken for x-rays of his lower leg around the ankle where he took a pitch yesterday. He recovers well.
Either that or the doctor just touched up the x-rays.
Derek Nicholson, certainly an old school, rubbing on the dirt, it'll feel better kind of guy. I mean, it takes a lot to get him out of a lineup.
Yeah, he definitely is a throwback.
I remember being told by a team trainer, asking about a guy who was a little slow, like extremely slow coming back from injuries. He chuckled. He says, I've seen guys come back faster from open heart surgery. So guys do recover or return at their own pace and have varying levels of pain tolerance. Swing and a miss. Nicholson out in front. It's a ball and 2 strikes from Pete Fisher.
See if Fisher here tries to get on the chase one or bounce one. Of course, with a runner on third, you're a little reluctant to throw a breaking ball down there. But Fisher is a ground ball pitcher. The Alabama does play the infield back, giving up the run.
Nicholson's job, put it in play with Eckstein at third. Ellis at second, both run well. Fouls it off. That's not where Frick wanted it, and that Frick set up way outside.
And he's been up too in the last couple of pitches, and he got lucky on that breaking ball that Nicholson swung through. But right now, you just want him to hit it on the ground somewhere. You got your infield back, you're giving up the run. You'll trade the run for the out here.
Now the 1-2. Fouled back our way. They'll try again. Florida and Alabama last year played 3 times in Tuscaloosa during the regular season, with Bama winning 2 out of 3, and played 3 times at the SEC tournament, which was in Birmingham, actually Hoover, Alabama, south of Birmingham, and Bama won 2 out of 3 there, including the last 2 to win the tournament title. This year, the SEC baseball tournament moves to Columbus, Georgia. Low and inside, 2-2 to Derek Nicholson.
Yeah, we were talking about all the semi-neutral sites, you want to call it, but the one that's really a neutral site, the ACC tournament in St. Petersburg. Go figure.
That's good for the travel budget, isn't it? I'm sure Maryland was really pumped about that choice. Grounded foul.
Well, let's put it this way. Last year, the ACC tournament in Durham, North Carolina, there were a lot of rainouts. And you increase your chances of moving to St. Pete.
Of course, St. Petersburg will host an NCAA regional next year in the Final Four in 1999. What is it, Tropicana?
That's right.
Something. Well, I tell you, they're naming stadiums for everything these days. 2-2 pitch, left field line, slicing foul and out of play. 4 foul balls off the bat of Derek Nicholson with 2 strikes on him. But he's certainly given it his best shot here with runners second and third, 1 out.
This first inning is flying by.
Wow. That's right. This game now a half hour old, and we've already seen 4 outs. Runners lead at second and third for the Gators. Well, that was a tough pitch in on the hands.
Hey, you got to give Nicholson credit. He's up there cutting and slashing up there with 2 strikes, messing up the borderline pitches. Let's see how he fights this one off. Well, he brings the hands in, just fights off that inside pitch, gives himself another chance here to pick out a good one. Mark of a good hitter. You're tough with 2 strikes.
Low and inside, it's a full count.
You saw Frick fake to the outside and slide in to the inside. You got to pound your glove when you do that. Make a little sound. If the hitter is concentrating, he's not really looking, he's not peeking back at the catcher, but he'll hear you. A lot of catchers will pound their glove to the outside, then slide to the inside, or vice versa.
But most hitters know wherever he pounds his glove, the ball's going the other spot.
Well, you shouldn't actually be hearing or paying attention to any of that if you're concentrating.
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. That's as good an at-bat as you can have and still strike out, as Nicholson fouls off 5 with 2 strikes on him. But now Florida, which has had a runner in second in scoring position almost the entire inning, needs a 2-out hit.
I tied him up again. You just got it by him. You said a good at-bat, but you can see he pulled off it just a little bit. But a nice job of battling for that guy right there, Pete Fisher.
So Casey Smith moved up to the number 5 spot in today's lineup. Is the batter, but he calls time at the plate. Both pitchers taking a long time to get the side from their catchers, and as a result, we've had a lot of stepping out on them. Smith with just 8 RBI this season, but 4 have come in the last 5 ball games. There's ball 1. Casey, a transfer from Texas Christian University. Been part of a platoon, or not really a platoon, just a collection, I guess, out in left field. Dwight Edge, Casey Smith, Shane Soroyer.
A cornucopia of outfielders.
Is that one more than or less than a veritable plethora?
It's a tidge less.
2 balls, no strikes to Smith.
And a tidge, there's 2 tidges equal a tad.
Yeah, but Tad transferred. David Eckstein at third, Mark Ellis at second. Florida trailing 1-0 in the bottom of the first inning, needs a 2-out hit. Ball 3, Chuck Hazard on deck.
Well, right here, you got to think you green light him with 2 runners in scoring position. He's got to be looking fastball down the gut.
Smith with a .341 batting average. Takes it right in there for strike 1. Well, you don't mind getting a transfer like that, a sophomore, so you get him for 2 years, a live arm. Got 14 starts last year up in Maine, and Fisher off to a great start in his year at Alabama. Swing and a miss through the fastball right by Casey Smith for strike 2.
Casey was looking for a ball inner third, inner half, and that ball was right on the outside corner, so he just couldn't reach it. Now he's got to open it up a little bit because he may pitch that ball, put it in the same spot.
Now the 3-2.
Yep.
Grounded to the first baseman, Vaz. He'll take it himself. And a scoring opportunity goes by the boards for Florida in the bottom of the first inning. The Gators no runs. There was 1 hit. 2 men left on base at the end of an inning. 1-0 Alabama.
Be amazed. Caught on Camera, the most incredible action-packed video you'll ever see, is now available at a store near you. Watch in awe as gripping action and events unfold, all captured on tape. Take a wild ride through shocking, spectacular accidents, courageous rescues, explosive action. These graphic images will stay etched in your mind forever, and it's all caught on camera. And available soon. Experience daring real-life adventure in Life Against Death. And and come face to face with the awesome power of nature's fury in Man Against Nature. The ultimate in reality videos are now available at Coconuts, Saturday Matinee, Record Town, and in stores everywhere.
Or call 1-800-455-4433 and order direct. Call today.
The College World Series in Omaha, Nebraska. That's where everybody aims to go when you're in college baseball, and both these teams had good aim last year, as both Florida and Alabama reached the College World Series. Bama finished tied for 5th in Omaha. The Gators were tied for 3rd. And we'll see if they're back again when this season winds down. Florida trailing 1-0 as Alabama bats here in the top of the 2nd inning. Bama had 3 hits in the opening inning off Rodriguez, but the Florida left-hander helped out by a pickoff of the base runner Roberto Vaz, and he has a 1-pitch out to start inning number 2, retiring Matt Frick.
That's what Sergio wants to do here, conserve his pitches. You know, Gary Henderson knows this is a club that swings early in the count. Keep it around the plate. Let him go ahead, put it in play, conserve your pitches, and 2 nice plays by Martin in the last inning to start this one.
Left fielder G.W. Keller steps to the plate. Not bad when your number 7 hitter is hitting .400 with 5 home runs.
Yeah, Keller is a guy that you can put down in the lineup right there, and you can add some punch.
There's another strike from Rodriguez, who's ahead of the count, 0-2. Keller's a guy you look at, you don't expect power. He's listed at 5'10", about 160, but he has delivered early in this season. Sophomore out of California hits a high drive to left field. There is that power, and Keller has taken it out of the yard on an 0-2 pitch from Sergio Rodriguez. It's 2-0 Alabama.
Well, this is going to drive Gary Henderson crazy. The second time an 0-2 pitch has led not only this time to a base hit, but a home run. This is a definite no-no.
That is the 5th home run allowed by Sergio Rodriguez in 34 innings of work, and number 6 on the season, as you see, for Keller.
Gary Wayne Keller, also known as GW. Wow, pitch was right there, and I tell you, you saw Sergio Rodriguez. His head went right down when that ball was hit. He knew it.
Rodriguez won his last time out. He beat Mississippi State out in Starkville. Backdoor curve misses 1-1. The count to Brandon Watson. DH hitting .313. Junior from Hartselle, Alabama. One of the top high school programs in the state. Another chance for Ty Martin. 2 down. So that gets Alabama to the number 9 spot in the order. At shortstop Nate Duncan. Duncan did not start yesterday's ball game, but did enter the contest. One hit in 10 at-bats. That hit a single. Taps it foul, third base side. And though Florida is 16-7, despite a very difficult early season schedule, there are some concerns, and I'd say starting pitching has to be at the top of the list right now, as Gators have not been able to get that consistent 6-7 innings day in and day out.
Now, if you can get two quality starters in your rotation, guys, you're going to win 70 or more % of the time. You're pretty much on your way. But the Gators don't have that right now.
I mentioned Rodriguez has a complete game that occurred February 8th against Santa Clara, but he has not gone 6 innings in any of his other 5 starts. We'll see how he does this afternoon, trailing 2-0. And now 3-1 the count to Nate Duncan.
You really just got to lay one in here. A whole lot to do. 9th hitter in the lineup. Can't play around with him. Gets a hit, he gets a hit.
Mark Ellis handles it. On the bad throw, the tag not in time. It'll be Ellis' first error of the season over at third base for the Florida Gators. And Duncan is on at first base.
See what happens here. It looks like it's going to be an easy play for Ellis.
Number 26, David Tidwell.
And just takes off on him. Brad did a nice job switching over and trying to make the sweep tag, but it wasn't to be.
So Ellis, who had been flawless defensively through 52 chances, puts the runner on at first base. We'll see if Duncan tries to run on Rodriguez as Tidwell steps to the plate.
When Rodriguez just stepped over to first base, that was a 90-degree angle straight towards first. When he pitches, he does a 90-degree angle straight towards home. When he's right in the middle, that's when it's tough. That's when it becomes tough on the base runner, when it looks like he's stepping towards home. And he's right on that, what we call a 45-degree plane that happens to be right, but splits throwing to first or throwing to home. It's very, very confusing, as is this explanation. So, you know,
I just got out my protractor.
It gives you, yeah. See, these are the kind of things you need to have your geometry if you're going to be a good base runner. No question about it.
If you drew a line from first base
to
the rubber,
let me tell you something. If I had a telestrator, this would be cake. You would all understand.
We got a marker. Just draw on the monitor.
Everybody at home, get a marker. And I'm gonna. There he goes.
Oh! Wilkerson thought he had him, was on his way. I don't know if Brad didn't tag him. Well, the throw seemed to have him beat.
No, the throw had him beat. There's no question about it. But A.J. Listaglia seemed to be right there and said he missed the tag. Now watch here. Now, you can't tell from that angle, but it looked like he got in on the back door. And the tag just hit him late.
Tell you what, guys, if it comes back, don't tell.
Bunted straight back, strike 2 on Tidwell. Rodriguez almost had his second pickoff of the afternoon in just his second inning of work.
You know, to be honest with you, this is not a bad pitch to run on right here. You got your leadoff guy, 0-2. If he gets thrown out, you come up in the third with your leadoff guy.
Bounder to short. Martin waits on the hop, and he's going to be safe at first as a result. Infield single for Tidwell.
Well, what happened there, Larry, it seemed like Ty wasn't sure if he wanted to go to second base or go to first. He was kind of making up his mind as the ball was coming to him.
The first baseman, number 28, Roberto.
But by the time he decided to go to first, it was too late, because that is a very quick runner, the fastest runner on the Alabama team. Now you're in real trouble with a guy like the man up there, Vaz.
Vaz, an infield hit, already has 4 hits in this series. He's hitting .481 on the year. And he takes a curve down and away for ball 1.
Hey, Reggie, on the scoreboard here it says Roberto. That's what I was looking at when I was telling you.
Bama 2, Florida nothing.
So I was just pointing out.
We're in the top of the second inning. Sergio Rodriguez misses with the 1-0 pitch.
A lot of respect for Vaz. The Gators play him deep and right, deep in center, and fairly deep to the opposite field. So the runner from second will crawl home on any kind of base hit to the outfield.
And the runner at first, Tidwell, anything in the alleys will probably score him the way he can run. Round at first base side, hit the bag, great play, Wilkerson. Rodriguez covers, but a sensational job by Brad Wilkerson as he dove to his left and then had to handle the weird hop off the bag to flag down the grounder off the bat of Roberto Vaz and retire Alabama here in the second inning. But the Tide scores on the Keller homer, 2-0 Bama after an inning and a half.
Bright lights, exciting shows, non-stop action. This is Las Vegas, and 888 Las Vegas offers you a complete Las Vegas vacation. Daily air transportation, hotel accommodations at the top properties, car rentals, and more, all at a great price. Call 888 Las Vegas for your next Las Vegas getaway. Call the number that says it all, Las Vegas. That's 888 Las Vegas.
Hey kids, now's your chance to play at halftime of a Miami Heat game. Sign up for 2-Ball, an interactive basketball game where you and your partner try to score as many baskets as possible. Top scorers in Miami will compete in the finals at the Miami Arena. Sign up at your local Parks and Rec Center or call the Miami Heat Community Relations Department at 305-577-HEAT.
Now, Florida on the short end of the score, 2-0 in the bottom of the second inning here at McKethan Stadium, but the Gators fortunate that it is a 2-0 ball game. Alabama already with 5 hits. The Gators have committed 2 errors and at least 1 run saved on a superb play over at first by Brad Wilkerson as Chuck Hazard leads it off in the bottom of inning number 2. And he takes ball 1. Hazard at 276 on the year. He hit 2 home runs and drove in 9 in the opening weekend series against Winthrop. But in the last 20 games, no homers and just 8 RBI. Grounded left side. Phillips with the long throw, the first out of the inning. So Hazard's retired, leading off the second for Florida, and that'll bring up Gator shortstop Ty Martin.
The shortstop, number 5, Ty Martin.
Well, Martin's a kid who had to have a tough night's sleep. His throwing error in the 10th inning gave Alabama the 6-4 victory in the opening game of this series. The amazing thing is, just a freshman, he has made 13 errors. The very next play he got in that inning made a terrific backhanded stop and a great throw to save a run.
Well, I like what Andy Lopez said in the paper today. He just said, hey, it's part of the growing process. Believe it or not, he's going to be a better ball player because of what he went through last night. I'm sure he took, as you said, a long time to get to sleep last night thinking about it. But baseball's the type of game that you just have to forget about it and go on. And once he learns that early in his career, Andy, I'm sure that's what the point he was bringing out, he'll be better off for it. It's not like football where you have a whole week to think about it. You're back out there in less than 24 hours.
Fouled off the third base side for strike 2 to Martin. He's got a 7-game hitting streak working for him. There you go. Dad gets the drink. She gets the walk.
You're wearing the same shirt you're wearing. Unbelievable.
Different size.
Yeah.
Fastball called, strike 3. That's 3 strikeouts for Pete Fisher.
First one looking, though.
The catcher, number 13, Josh Hudson.
The University of Florida is hosting the 1997 NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships in the O'Connell Center just beyond the left field fence. For ticket information, call 1-800-34-GATOR. That's the NCAA Women's Gymnastics Championships here in Gainesville, April 17th through the 19th. Pitch up high, ball 1 to Josh Hudson.
Now, is it in the O-Dome or is it just beyond the left field fence? Well, where are they going to have this thing? In the parking lot?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
That's why you have to get your tickets now. It fills up in a hurry.
Yeah, not much room.
There's a pitch down low, 2-0 to Josh Hudson. Be sure to join us tomorrow on Breakfast with the Gators for some gymnastics coverage. Florida goes up against Iowa State and Penn State. Hudson's really swinging the bat well. 13 hits in his last 27 at-bats, including 6 for his last 6.
Raised his average over 300, 333. It was his job to claim a couple weeks ago, and it looks like it's his. And Andy Lopez just marveling. He's just not used to having a freshman as his starting catcher.
Hudson having more difficulty with the defensive transition than offensive at this point, which is no surprise. That's tough to do, handling pitchers and doing everything that goes with it. High and tight for a ball. It's 3-1 to the freshman catcher.
Yeah, you're seeing different speeds and different movements on breaking balls that you're not used to seeing from the high school guys that you just caught a year earlier, and making adjustments to hitters that are way better than the ones you saw in high school.
Fouls that one off. That'll end up over in the track. And it's a full count, 3-2 to Josh Hudson.
And then on top of it, Larry, you're trying to figure out a way to hit these pitchers that are better than what you've seen the last 3-4 years. And actually the best you've ever seen. So it's a tough combination for a freshman catcher to handle.
Low ball 4. Second walk issued by Pete Fisher.
Well, you hate the walk. The 2-out walk just really bothers the coach, and especially the eight hitter. Now you clear the 9 hitter in the next inning. If Ogle makes an out, the other team at worst has their leadoff man leading off the next inning. So even though the Gators if they don't score here, it's still a little bit of a battle won there.
Brian Ogle steps in.
It's a little bit of the game within the game.
Ogle, a guy who will surprise you with some power, has 4 home runs this year. His last an inside the park homer. That was Wednesday against Purdue when 2 Boilermaker outfielders ran into each other. He slaps this one to left center field for a base hit. With Keller over, can't cut it off. Hudson may score. Around third, headed for home. The relay will not come to the plate. It's an RBI double for Brian Ogle, and the walk does help the Florida Gators get on the board. It's now 2-1.
Oh, that 2-out walk will find its way in more times than not. It's amazing. You talk to any coach, that 2-out walk will kill you. It's a nice job of hitting right here. Pitch was at the knees, and he just went down and got it and hit it right into the gap. There, exactly. Yeah, there it is.
Both into and off the gap on the same hit.
Sure.
Here's David Eckstein. He fouls it into the stands. Eckstein with a base hit here could tie the ball game. Eckstein was on an 0-for-8 stretch before he singled late in yesterday's ball game, and then has a base hit in the first inning of this one. It's been a little more of a struggle for David this year. Takes strike 2.
But he still does enough in a ball game to help his side win.
Well, he does do that. Stole 2 bases in the first inning.
Yeah. I mean, he got as far as he could go, and then the rest has to be up to the hitters.
There's Joe Caruso in the outfield grass to throw out Eckstein and retire the Florida Gators in the second inning. But a 2-out walk to Hudson, a double by Brian Ogle. The bottom part of the lineup comes through, and Florida is on the scoreboard with a run on a hit. No errors, 1 man left. We've played 2. It's 2-1 Alabama, live on Sunshine.
1969, Santana makes a historic appearance at the legendary Woodstock Festival. Santana's unforgettable signature sound has captivated music fans around the world. Now, in a special arrangement with Sony Music Direct comes an incredible new music collection, Classic Santana. Experience the unmistakable sound of Santana, rare, uncut classics, and their biggest hits. Call now to order Classic Santana. Yours on 2 cassettes, $19.95, or 2 CDs, $24.95. Classic Santana. The legacy continues. Order now.
To order this Classic Santana, call 1-800-652-2112 on 2 cassettes, $19.95, or 2 CDs, $24.95 plus shipping and handling. Or send check or money order to the address on your screen. Order yours today.
Alabama 2, Florida 1. The Crimson Tide, number 10 in the nation. Florida is number 8. Gators have already played 13 games against nationally ranked opponents. They'll have 3 more next weekend when they travel to Baton Rouge to take on the LSU Tigers. Alabama looks to have another outstanding team. Both these squads went to the College World Series a year ago. Both head coaches in their 3rd year at their current school, Andy Lopez for Florida and Jim Wells for Bama. Alabama in the 3rd inning, Joe Caruso to lead it off, and he pops it up right side. Eckstein and Wilkerson. Eckstein takes charge.
That's the 2nd inning in a row that Sergio Rodriguez is able to get the Alabama leadoff hitter on the first pitch, and getting Caruso out of the way, that's a big out.
The third baseman, number 2, Andy Phillips.
They get a look at the Florida captain, David Eckstein, as Andy Phillips steps to the plate. Phillips hit the ball well deep to right field his first time, with Nicholson making a fine play just in front of the fence. Hits it that way again, but way foul for strike 1.
We were talking about Jim Wells earlier, and he had taken that job working in the community at Northwestern State, and then got a chance to coach with Skip Bertman over at LSU. And that was a great experience for him.
Comebacker, Rodriguez handles it, 2 out in the inning.
Nice job by Sergio.
Sunshine Network brings you exciting first-round coverage of the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament live tonight, beginning at 8:30, when the Lady Gators of Florida take on the Golden Panthers of Florida International. That'll be live right here on Sunshine Network. NCAA Women's Basketball action. We hope you'll stay tuned. Florida hosting for the first time ever over in the O'Connell Center, which is just beyond the fence in left field, if you hadn't noticed earlier. Dustin Moore fouls it off for strike 1.
This will be an indoor event, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
First round matchup will get underway actually in about an hour. San Francisco and Southern Cal, and the winners will meet in the 2nd round Monday at 8 o'clock. SEC's not had a good NCAA men's basketball tournament.
No, they haven't.
0-1 pitch misses high, a ball and a strike to Dustin Moore. South Carolina, Georgia go out in the 1st round.
I like the headlines in the paper, March Sadness for the SEC.
Well, the SEC had 3 great tournaments in a row, and this year 4 of 5 teams go out in the 1st round. Strike 2 to Dustin Moore. Vanderbilt and Ole Miss also beaten early. Only Kentucky left carrying the SEC banner. Gee, when's the last time that was ever said? Rodriguez looking for a 1-2-3 inning. There's ball 2.
So to finish off the Jim Wells story.
He's in Baton Rouge now as an assistant.
Baton Rouge, assistant for Skip Bertman for 3 years, then gets the head job at Northwestern State, does an outstanding job there, and then when the job came open at Alabama, he got that, and he's one of the darling coaches in college baseball today.
Hit in the air, right center field. That'll drop in for a base hit. Nicholson cuts it off. Moore's going to try for 2, and he'll make it. Now, I wonder if that sore leg helped Dustin Moore a little bit on that play, as Nicholson really didn't seem like he could plant at all.
Well, it's a tough play. You know, you're getting the ball in the gap, and it looked like, well, the play's in front of them. Dustin Moore, he sees it all the way. And you want to take the gamble if you're a base runner with 2 outs to get down there in scoring position. Definitely worth the gamble. But even if it's a phenomenal play if he throws him out. You'll see more right here. He's thinking 2 right out of the box. And really the play's not that close as the ball's hitting the gap. But, you know, it would have taken a good, strong plant and throw. And like you said, who knows if he could have done it with his foot the way it is.
Here's Frick, and he rips it up the middle for a base hit, and Dustin Moore will score to make it 3-1. Ogle boots it. Frick made a turn but did not try for second base, but it's an RBI single, so back-to-back 2-out hits when Rodriguez was a strike away from a 1-2-3 inning, and Alabama has scored for the 3rd inning in a row.
That's why you try for 2 on that regardless, because you get down there in scoring position. That's why I was surprised that Frick, once Ogle looked like he kicked the ball momentarily, Frick didn't try to get to second base. It's worth the gamble with 2 outs, especially when you've got the lead.
So with a runner at first, here's Keller, who hit that long homer to left center field. Little tapper off the end of the bat. Wilkerson will handle it for the final out of the inning. But Alabama scores again. A run on a couple of hits for the Crimson Tide. No errors and 1 man left on base at the end of 2.5. The Crimson Tide up by 2.
So, Delmar, how many chickens have you got on this farm?
50,000.
Wow. See, sometimes you get so busy on the farm, you ever miss having breakfast?
Sometimes we'll have breakfast for dinner, yeah.
Well, what would you think about a country omelet that has ham, cheese, hash browns, and onions in it, and comes with buttermilk pancakes, or a chicken fajita omelet? Or how about an international omelet with cheese, ham, and chili salsa?
I'd like to try it.
So this is Cliff in America's Heartland, reminding you that any time is a great time for breakfast at IHOP. So, Delmar, which did come first, then, the chicken or the egg?
I don't know.
Buy your tickets now. Call 839-3900.
Alabama 3 runs on 7 hits off Sergio Rodriguez through the first 3 innings of this ball game, and the Crimson Tide with a 3-1 lead over Florida as they try to take this SEC series in Gainesville. The 2 teams will meet again tomorrow afternoon.
Wow. Wait a minute. Pick on someone your own size.
Yeah, he just wanted a little camera time. Sweet. Down in front. Mark Ellis to lead off the 3rd inning for Florida. He'll be followed by Brad Wilkerson and Derek Nicholson.
Number 2, Mark Ellis.
Ellis walked, stole second. He and Eckstein were 2nd and 3rd with 1 out, but neither one scored in that 1st inning. Pushes the bunt first base side. He'll have a hit. Beautifully done by Mark Ellis.
He bunted it right in no man's land. The key there is to bunt it past the pitcher and then just outrun him to the base, and that's what he does. It's in no man's land. The first baseman is the only one that has a chance to get it, and you just outrun the pitcher. That's how you do that play. Bunt it past the pitcher and just outrun him to first. So it's easier said than done.
And you could see about halfway up the line, Ellis was already ahead of Fisher in the race for first base.
Right.
The second baseman wasn't covering, so there was no chance for a play. Here's Wilkerson stepping in. And he takes strike 1. Brad had a unique at-bat in the 1st inning. Just missed a 3-run homer foul down the right field line. Just missed perhaps a 2-run double down the left field line, and then struck out. Ellis, good lead over at first, held on by Vaz. 1-1 the count on Wilkerson. You see Frick, the catcher, looking into the dugout for a sign, and he relays it to the pitcher, Fisher. As it used to be, the quarterbacks called their own plays and the catcher called the game behind the plate, and now they're just relay men, so to speak.
That's it.
Another throw over. That time, Ellis was no more than 1.5 feet off the bag when the move was made.
You just have to go ahead and get yourself another delivery boy.
That's like Clint Eastwood.
I was just going to say, that wasn't a bad Charles Bronson, but that was Clint Eastwood. Glad you beat me to it. Brad Wilkerson, a sensational debut year for the Gators and having an outstanding sophomore season as well. On the mound, he has 4 wins and a couple of saves, while boasting a .388 average and 9 homers. Slaps that left side and out of play. And the count evens at 2-2. Wilkerson, a guy you could see on some national teams in the future, I would think. Has 1 more year of college ball, and then the pros will come calling after his junior year. A 13th round pick out of high school. He'll move up. Oh, yeah. And there's the old thing, is he a pitcher as a pro, or does he swing the bat? Ellis goes, the pitch is low, the throw is high, and Ellis has a stolen base. Second steal of the afternoon for Mark Ellis. And he's at second with nobody out and a 3-2 count on Brad Wilkerson.
And the 4th stolen base of the day for the Gators. This is very tough for a catcher and a ball down low like that to come up throwing. Very difficult.
Ellis leads at second. Wilkerson takes it low, ball 4. That's now 1 walk in each of 3 innings for Pete Fisher. And for the second time today, Florida has a 2-out nobody, or 2-on nobody out situation.
The right fielder, number 11, Derek Nicholson.
Derek Nicholson looking at Coach Lopez for the sign, see what the Gators are going to do with this first and second nobody out situation. Nicholson fouled off 5 pitches with 2 strikes on him in the first inning before striking out.
Yeah, this is a bunt situation here, but that's why he was looking in the dugout. Let's see what they're going to have him do. And that's all that was to do is see if Nicholson showed bunt. But, you know, Andy Lopez has been the kind of coach that we've watched the last couple of years. He'll change the bunt to the swing away from pitch to pitch. You just never know what he's going to do. He'll watch and see how the defense plays and then make up his mind accordingly.
Go, Derek. Jump on base there.
He bunts it. The pitcher Fisher's only play is to first in time. Sacrifice executed by Nicholson, and there's 1 away. And on the play, Ellis to third. And Brad Wilkerson advances to second. There's the sophomore. A pair of sophomores on the bases for the Gators. So same situation as the first inning again. Second and third with 1 out, and here's Casey Smith. Smith grounded out to the first baseman Vaz to end the first inning.
Larry, they're giving up the run again unless the ball is hit hard to third base, and the third baseman Phillips has a choice.
Smith chased a horrible pitch for strike 1.
Just a little over anxious. Now, remember last time, Larry, they were pitching him away, so they bounced one away to him and he chased after it. So looks like that's where they're going to go with him.
And he grounder to the right side, guaranteed to score a run here in the bottom of the third inning. 0-1 pitch misses down and away.
You can see Frick setting up outside. They're going to give up a run here, but they're going to challenge Casey Smith to put it in play.
You see the numbers on Smith. All 8 of his runs batted in have been driving in guys in scoring position. Popped up right side. That won't do it, I don't believe. Dustin Moore in shallow right field makes the catch. Ellis will be held up. 2 down.
They continue to work him away and got him to hit the short right field. That throw was right on the money.
Nick, you talked about things that annoy pitching coaches, like a 1-0-2 counts that are hard hit and the 2-out walk. It's second and third, 1-out situation, and twice the ball's not put in play. Either time when they're giving up a ground ball to give you a run, if Florida gets 2 ground outs in those situations, it's a tie ball game.
Well, Casey hasn't really made the adjustment to the fact that, hey, they're going to pitch me away, so I got to look away and hit it hard away. And that's seemed to be what has happened in his last 2 at-bats.
Here's Chuck Hazard with a chance to drive in, too, and he pops it straight up the chute. Fisher calls for it. Makes the catch, and again, a great opportunity goes by the boards for the Florida Gators. This time in the bottom of the 3rd inning, Florida, no runs, 1 hit, a walk, 2 men left on. At the end of 3, Alabama's still up 2.
Right now, get tremendous savings on every Sealy, Serta, and Simmons mattress. Just call Dyla Mattress at 1-800-MATTRESS. Save hundreds of dollars on Posturepedic, Perfect Sleeper, and Beauty Rest mattresses. Did you know Dyla Mattress was rated #1 in customer service with delivery on approval, a guaranteed comfort exchange policy, and rock-bottom prices? Dyla Mattress, brand name beds for busy people. Call 1-800-MATTRESS. And remember...
Yep, it's time to head out to the old ball game. So grab a dog, a seat, and a remote, because there's no better place to catch it than on Sunshine. See all the hits, grabs, guns, and runs of all your favorite Florida teams, from the Gators and the Dolphins to the Knights and the Knowles. If they're playing on the diamond, you'll get it on your box. Playing your game all season on Sunshine.
Sunshine Network coverage of college baseball live from McKeithen Stadium at Perry Field. We're here on the campus of the University of Florida, where this afternoon the Florida Gators, ranked 8th in the nation, are hosting the #10 Crimson Tide of Alabama. These 2 teams went at it 6 times last year, with Bama winning 4 of the 6, and Alabama won the first game of this series last night. Sergio Rodriguez begins his 4th inning of work, delivering strike 1 to the designated hitter, Brandon Watson, who grounded out his first time.
And Sergio's got to throw a 0 up there because Alabama's got the picket fence going.
Grounded foul, third base side, and Rodriguez ahead of the count, 0-2. Sergio Rodriguez has allowed 7 hits. 3 runs, all earned. He has not struck out or walked a batter. 0-2 pitch misses outside. Rodriguez gets the sign. Here's the 1-2. Grounded base hit, right side. It's now 8 hits for Alabama.
The shortstop, number 17, Nate Duncan.
So the number 9 hitter, Nate Duncan, steps in there.
There's the picket fence. Bama, the 3 solo runs. That's known as the picket fence in baseball.
In Florida with the 1 fence support. They need to quit using 2x4s and get a good 4x4 in there.
That's what they need.
Yeah, and they call a balk. Rodriguez.
And it was on the 45-degree plane. That's where that was called. A.J. Lostaglio on that. He stepped more towards the home plate side of that 45-degree angle plane.
Well, I've never understood why not have a mark in the pitcher's mound area.
It would make too much sense, Larry. They've tried it in spring training, where you actually put a line there. Now watch where his foot is. As he called it right on that. Step more towards home plate.
Duncan offered a bunt, but takes high for ball one. They appeal down to Lostaglio on the pullback of the bat. And again, this is when you have a three-man umpiring crew. There's no way you have a guy in position to help on that call.
Yeah, it's really tough, and it's very tough to argue, because in this situation, you know they don't have that good a look.
I'm sure Andy Lopez right now is saying,
Andy,
you shouldn't need help.
Well, that may have been his argument, but I'm sure, to be honest with you, Andy's got a better look at it than AJ does from the dugout area.
But for some reason, they don't want to take his word for it.
Oh, it's the way it works. Actually, it looked like he did have the bat back. So, it looked like a good call.
1-0 pitch hit in the air, foul down the right field line. Long run for Nicholson. He can't get there. And it's a ball and a strike. Derek Nicholson throws it into the stands. And the fans hanging out along the right field side. That's become a very fun area for fans to hang out here at McKeithen Stadium, with all the grandstand and the chair backs and the bench backs. That area by the field house.
Yeah. See, those are the people that really love to go to zoos.
That's one twisting toward the line. Nicholson has a chance, makes the running catch, tagging and easily making it to third base on the play, Brandon Watson. And there's one down. The ball got away from Martin, but not far enough for Watson to try to score. It appeared that was he in foul territory when he caught that?
Yeah, I believe he was.
The center fielder, number 26, David Tidwell.
But the point being, he gets the job done moving his runner down to third base with less than 2 outs.
I really like how fundamentally sound this Alabama team appears to be. They did commit 4 errors in yesterday's ball game to Florida's 2, but the last error of the game by the Gators was the difference in the contest. Here's Tidwell taking ball one.
Now here's what you're looking for. A guy like Tidwell, leadoff hitter, probably a guy that hits the ball into the ground a lot. It takes advantage of his speed. If you're the runner at third base now, you're looking for a ball on contact to get a good jump. A high hopper, you're breaking for home.
High and tight, 2 balls, no strikes, the count to Tidwell.
And with the left-handed offerings of Rodriguez, the runner at third, Watson can get a real good jump.
4th inning, Florida down 2, but the Gators do not bring the infield in with a runner at third and 1 out.
Actually, they're at halfway right now.
Doesn't matter. Base hit center field, and it's a 4-1 ball game, and that picket fence gets a little bit closer to the property line.
Yeah, it extends the picket fence. And another RBI, 26 on the year out of the leadoff spot for Tidwell. There's another board on the fence.
The first baseman, number 28, Roberto Vaz.
Alabama now with 9 base hits off Rodriguez, and Sergio's just been up in the zone all day long. Chris Nolan, senior right-hander, up in the bullpen for the Gators. Sergio wasn't careful with that move, was he?
Well, you can't change anything. I mean, it's not a balk unless they call it. I mean, if it's the best move is the one that's borderline. That's the one you're going to pick the guy off.
There's a pitch taken, strike 1 by Roberto Vaz. Vaz got an RBI on an infield hit in the first inning and then was retired on the second on a great play by Wilkerson. He hit it down the line, but it hit the bag, and Wilkerson, who had already dove to the backhand side, had to reach up with his glove and snare it. Otherwise, another run or two might have scored. What's interesting about Wilkerson, defensively, he's Florida's best first baseman, right fielder, left fielder. Not sure if he's the best center fielder, but if you put him out there a while, I bet he'd keep it. Better move that time, but still back safely, Tidwell. Tidwell, 13 in a row.
I tell you, that one was borderline.
Well, lefty can't pick anyone off unless they're hanging around that border, can they?
Sure. No, I mean, you're right. That's the whole key to it.
Popped up left side, Casey Smith. 2 down. So Florida handling Vaz better than they did in last night's ball game. He's 1 for 3, and that'll bring up Joe Caruso. Caruso, right-handed hitter, good power. Though he hasn't flashed much of it this year, just 2 home runs. Takes strike 1. Tidwell over at first, has a good lead. Still hasn't tried to go. This is pop foul. Long run for Wilkerson. The next time, no one gets there. And it's no balls, 2 strikes to Joe Caruso.
Here, Jim Wells a little reluctant here with 2 outs, knowing that his hitter has the ability to get an extra base hit here with 2 outs. He's got the opposing pitcher on the ropes and might want to let him swing away. But with the 0-2 count we talked about, 0-2 count, that's a breaking ball count. He may send him here.
Might you pitch out 0-2?
Yeah, perhaps.
Another throw over to first.
Just a fastball off the plate on the outer third to do the job, and more so than a pitch out, especially with the right-handed hitter up.
The runner's going, the pitch is low, the throw down bounces, and it's another stolen base for Tidwell, his 2nd of the night, and 14 in a row this season for the Alabama center fielder.
Well, that's what they did. They threw a fastball away, but it was down, and Hudson had to go down and get it a little bit. Didn't get himself in the best throwing position right there. Didn't anticipate the steal.
Tidwell now 41 out of 45 in his Alabama career. He's taken 3rd, and he'll get it easily on the swing and miss. However, it won't matter as Caruso strikes out on the 1-2 pitch. He tried to hold up, couldn't do it, and that retires Alabama in the 4th inning. The first strikeout for Rodriguez. For the Crimson Tide, a run on 2 hits, no errors, a man left. Florida's down 3.
Does your back ache even when you sit? Wait. Introducing the Contour Seat Cushion. Turns any chair into the best seat in the house. Our exclusive 2-layer design provides superior comfort and support. Soft white foam fingers adjust to your shape, while the firm blue layer gives comforting support. The extra tall back cushion fits your natural curves, from your lower back all the way up to your shoulder blades. The unique wedge boosts your posture and repositions your body to help reduce strain on your lower back. Plus, our special tailbone cutout helps relieve pressure around the base of your spine, reducing stiffness and fatigue. What a relief. It's the most complete seating system ever, all for only $19.95. We'll include this soft cotton cover, complete with carry handle and clever snaps, free. So you can use the cushions together or alone. You get the back cushion, the seat wedge, and the cover. Order now.
To order, call 1-800-652-2112 or send $19.95 plus $5.95 shipping to Contour Seat Cushion, Department S, P.O. Box 4943, Omaha, Nebraska.
Immediately to the Gator Sports Center. Pick up your coupon for a free Frosty.
The O'Connell Center here on the campus of the University of Florida, just beyond the left field fence at McKeithen Stadium. And tonight, the O-Dome is going to be rocking, and we hope you will join us here on Sunshine Network. The NCAA first and second round action at the O'Connell Center. Southern Cal plays San Francisco at 6. Florida International takes on the Florida Gators at about 8:30. If you can't make it to the O-Dome tonight, be sure to join us for that 8:30 matchup between the Golden Panthers of FIU and the Lady Gators of Florida, live right here on Sunshine Network. Bottom of the fourth inning, Florida trailing by 3, and Ty Martin takes a strike on the outside part of the plate from Alabama right-hander Pete Fisher. Fisher averaging about 20 pitches an inning. He's really had to work out there. He has struck out 3, he's walked 3. He's allowed 3 hits. The run against him is earned. It came on an RBI double by Brian Ogle, but he also has a 3-run advantage, so 3 has been the number at this point for Pete Fisher. There's a ball. 1 ball, 2 strikes to Martin. Ty Martin took a 3rd strike his first time. Freshman from Melbourne. His father, Dick Martin, a longtime trainer with the Minnesota Twins. There's a big chopper right at the first baseman, Vaz, and there's 1 out in the Florida half of the 4th inning.
Vaz playing him shallow, is in perfect position for that ball.
The catcher, number 13, Josh Hudson.
Vaz, junior college All-American a year ago. Northeast Texas won the national championship, beating Meridian, Mississippi.
And that was in Grand Junction, Colorado. What a great place to play.
Is it? I have a chance to go there maybe this summer.
Gotta go.
Right through the middle, base hit, Josh Hudson. He is now 7 for his last 7. And the 4th hit of the ball game for the Florida Gators. Nick, as you look at Hudson, do you see him long-term as a catcher? Obviously, that bat looks like it'll be in the lineup for the next 3 years.
Yeah, it's something that, as you see, he does a nice job riding the pitch up the middle. He's got to develop as a catcher, and that's time will tell with that. He's going to get the opportunity this year, and if you ask me that question about a month, I can give you a better answer. But yeah, he's so young and raw at the position, at this level anyway.
So at this point, the answer is we'll see.
Yeah, I would think so. But you know, there's nothing to make you a better catcher than a good bat. That's right. It keeps you in that lineup.
There's Brian Ogle taking down and away, 1 ball and 1 strike. Ogle has driven in the only Florida run in the ball game. Has 11 runs batted in on the season in that number 9 spot. Sharing center field with Brian Haught, who has had nothing but health and injury problems lately. And he goes left side again, but this time Keller is there. Makes the catch, and there's 2 down.
It's in the sun field.
Yeah, that left field is about to get a whole lot worse than it is right now. But speaking of Brian Haught, fractured his cheekbone in a collision with Casey Smith back in February, was out for quite a few ball games. Since coming back, he has had the flu, strep throat, has an inner ear infection right now that's keeping him out of the lineup. Florida likes the flexibility of having both Haught and Ogle available, but it's been Ogle the vast majority of the time for the last 5 weeks. Here's David Eckstein taking ball 1. Eckstein, with 2 stolen bases in this ball game, is now 2nd on Florida's all-time list. Takes ball 2. The throw down to first was late. Brian Duva from right here in Gainesville, Florida's all-time stolen base leader with 103. Eckstein 27 away, not likely he'll catch it.
Brian played in for Winnipeg Goldeyes in the Northern League the last 2 years. Put together a 30 stolen base season last year. A fan favorite in Winnipeg is Brian Douglas.
Really? Yeah. He's a fan favorite here. That ball's hit hard, knocked down by Phillips with the diving effort. He throws to second for the force. Outstanding play by Andy Phillips of Alabama, taking a hit away from David Eckstein and retiring the Florida Gators in the bottom of the 4th inning at the end of 4. Alabama 4, Florida 1, live on Sunshine.
So, Delmar, how many chickens have you got on this farm?
50,000.
Wow. Sometimes you get so busy on the farm, you ever miss having breakfast?
Sometimes we'll have breakfast for dinner, yeah.
Well, what would you think about a country omelet that has ham, cheese, hash browns, and onions in it, and comes with buttermilk pancakes? Or a chicken fajita omelet? Or how about an international omelet with cheese, ham, and chili salsa?
I'd like to try it.
So this is Cliff in America's Heartland, reminding you that any time's a great time for breakfast at IHOP. So, Delmar, which did come first, then, the chicken or the egg?
I don't know.
Come on, buy a mattress by telephone? Fact is, more people call Dial-A-Mattress for quality name brand bedding than anyone. Call 1-800-MATTRESS for Sealy Posturepedic, Serta Perfect Sleeper, and Simmons Beauty Rest at rock-bottom prices every day of the year. With delivery on your approval and our comfort exchange service, it's no wonder Dial-A-Mattress is #1. Dial-A-Mattress. Brand name beds for busy people. Call 1-800-MATTRESS. Leave off the last S for savings.
You see the shadows on the first base side here at McKeithen Stadium, Perry Field. Almost the entire first base side, other than the coach's box, is now in the shadows. Soon the pitcher's mound will be in as you see those shadows creeping up toward the left side of the infield. And the longer that shadow gets, the more miserable life becomes for the left fielder. Alabama 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. The Gators 1, 4, and 2. For Alabama in the 5th inning, it'll be the cleanup hitter, Andy Phillips, who just made that fine play defensively, taking a hit away from David Eckstein. And that one's at the knees for strike 1. Sergio Rodriguez making his 7th start of the season. 9 hits allowed by Sergio, the most in any start this season or in his entire freshman campaign as well. Slow tapper, third base side, kicks foul, strike 2. Rodriguez has struck out 1. He has not walked anybody. In fact, he's only allowed 7 walks in 36 2/3 innings worked this year. So the control has been pretty good all season long, but the location, there's, I guess, a difference between you talk control, you really talk walks and strikeouts. You talk location within the zone is probably more important to Rodriguez than the general control.
Well, yeah, we'll get into that after this pitch. It's 2 kinds of control.
Fouled into the stands. Well, I tell you, those folks in the front section can't ignore the ones that go up there behind them.
Well, there's 3 kinds of control if you're counting the agency Max Smart is with. But the 2 kinds of control is the walks and the strikeouts, then where the location, like for instance the 0-2 pitches that ended up being base hits, 1 for a home run, that was bad location, bad control, even though he didn't walk anybody.
Up and away, 1 ball, 2 strikes, control. Maxwell Smart, Agent 99, played by Barbara Felton. Don Adams. Don Adams was also, of course, Tennessee Tuxedo. Grounded, nice play, Mark Ellis. He's got it, he throws high and wide, and it'll be safe at first base. Oh, Ellis made a great snag in the hole, but then threw it way over the head of Wilkerson. It's his 2nd error of the day and of the season.
And you hate to see it on such a tough chance. Makes a nice play to his left. And on the run, just doesn't have himself set.
It's interesting that both of his throws went high. Seemed to take off right out of his hand. I don't know if it's, you think of a pitcher and release point, but it's almost the same problem there for Ellis, or it would appear to be. Runner at first. And Dustin Moore will be the batter, but first Rodriguez chases Phillips back to the bag.
I used to love Get Smart as a kid.
Boy, did I open up a can of worms.
At least I haven't started whistling the theme song, at least not loudly. Strike one to Dustin Moore.
Well, that's where Bernie Capel's brilliance really showed. That's the character Siegfried.
Folks, I tried to stop. He wouldn't let me. They're going to put us under the cone of silence if we don't watch it. Throw over to first by Rodriguez. But again, back easily, Andy Phillips. Tried to pick him off, but he missed him by that much. 4-1 ball game. We're in the top of the fifth here at McKeithen Stadium. There's a high and outside ball one to Dustin Moore. Alabama with 1 run in each inning. Alabama has 9 hits. Florida has committed 3 errors. Alabama has stolen 2 bases. Florida pitcher Sergio Rodriguez has been charged with a balk. We had all that up in just 4 innings, and it's pretty fortunate for Florida that it is a 4-1 ball game. Alabama's left 5 runners on. 3 of the 5 in scoring position.
Sergio needs a ground ball double play right here.
Swing and a miss by Moore, 1-2.
Took something off that pitch, had Moore out front.
Crowd's looking for strike 3. Rodriguez fakes the snap throw. Alabama has had 16 double plays turned against it this season. The Gators have turned 28 defensively. Low ball 2. In the years prior to the arrival of Jim Wells, Alabama had really kind of fallen into the bottom of the SEC Western Division. And LSU had just totally dominated the West for a number of years. Almost similar to the fact that Florida went through a time where they owned the SEC's Eastern Division, and then Tennessee raised its level of play. Georgia for 1 year when the Bulldogs won the national championship. Now the 2-2 pitch. Hit hard into left field, base hit. That's base hit number 10 for Alabama, and the Tide has 2 on with nobody out.
A lot of these hits coming with 2 strikes. Two-two pitch. See Moore just riding it out, not fooled at all.
7 of Alabama's 10 hits with 2 strikes on the batter. 2 were 2-2 counts, 2 with 1-2 counts, and 3 0-2 counts.
And that's not what you'd like to see.
Chris Nolan, senior right-hander, definitely ready if Florida wants to make a change.
And I think it's imminent.
Matt Frick, the batter.
Fun situation here.
Little bluff back. Matt Frick, an interesting situation last night. He hit a grounder and kind of stopped 2/3 of the way up the first base line, didn't run it out, went back to the dugout, and Coach Jim Wells told him his day was over. Back in the lineup today, message delivered and message received by the Alabama head coach.
And the good coaches will do that.
Well, you really have to. That's still the greatest disciplinary tool you have. I don't care how much you yell at them, you run them, or anything else. When they're sitting on the bench, that's when I think you get the most attention out of someone.
Oh, yeah. Loud and clear.
Another base hit to left field. Around third, Phillips, they're going to send him home. Casey Smith with the throw. It's not going to be strong enough. It's an RBI single for Matt Frick. His second run batted in of the day, and Alabama now has a 5-1 lead with runners first and second, and still nobody out here in the 5th inning.
Damn the torpedoes. Forget the bunt. Full speed ahead. We're swinging away. Jim Wells going for the jugular here as the picket fence continues to grow. And Casey just can't get it there in time.
And Florida's going to make a pitching change here in the 5th inning. Sergio Rodriguez, a career-high 11 hits allowed this afternoon. And senior right-hander Chris Nolan will come into the ball game for Florida. We're going to take a short break here in the top half of the 5th inning. That fence is about to circle the property. 5-1 Alabama. Back with more 5th inning action after this.
Do you love the mouth-watering taste of perfectly cooked, delicious bacon, but hate that unhealthy fat and grease? Yuck! Introducing Bacon Wave, the amazing patented breakthrough. Cooks perfect bacon in any microwave in just minutes. Bacon Wave makes the leanest, tastiest bacon faster and easier than any other method. Simply place bacon in the slots, skewer each slice, and place it in the microwave. It's that easy. And Bacon Wave is stackable. Cooks up to 28 pieces. Fat and grease strip into the lower pan away from the bacon. Less fat, less cholesterol, fewer calories. Just the world's best bacon. From juicy to crisp, perfect for breakfast, a BLT lunch, or a great salad. Bacon Wave stays cool to the touch, yet bacon is crisp and hot. No splatter, no burns. And it's dishwasher safe for fast, easy cleanup. Order Bacon Wave for just $19.95. Now you can bring home the bacon. Order today.
Have your credit card ready and call toll-free 1-800-652-2112 or send check or money order for $19.95 plus $4.50 shipping to Bacon Wave, Department S, P.O. Box 4943, Omaha, Nebraska.
Hey, you see the crowd here at McKeithen Stadium, Perry Field on a Saturday afternoon. Beautiful Saturday for baseball, and really not that big of a crowd here. Part of it affected, I'm sure, by the fact that Florida is just at the tail end of its spring break week, and a lot of stuff going on campus, including a softball doubleheader. The NCAA women's hoops action going on tonight as well. Chris Nolan into the game out of the bullpen for the Florida Gators.
Nice job this year so far. 3 wins, a save, 11 appearances, but 4.76 ERA. He's been counted on in a lot of situations to come in and do what he has to do here. You can see the numbers: 22 innings, 22 hits, 8 walks, 17 strikeouts. He's got to hold them right here, and he's in a tough situation with nobody out. And his club down by 4. He's probably going to face, again, a bunt situation. Whether Jim Wells is going to decide to do it here, who knows?
Well, Keller hit a home run in the 2nd inning.
Yeah, so, I mean, anything can happen at this point. Look at those aluminum bats. The bunts don't come as freely as they do in a pro situation. Of course, that was, again, to see if Keller would tip it off. He did not. You've got to respect the bunt here, of course.
Keller grounded out to the first baseman Wilkerson after his home run. 1 out of 2 today. He is not bunting, and he takes a pitch out there for strike 1.
Hudson looking for the fastball, got the curve, and you're not set on the signal there.
Of course, you see cross-ups at every level, but you're going to see more of them with a young catcher.
And in a situation here, Larry, where there's a runner on second base, so he's flashing a different set of signs here with the runner on.
On the right side, that's a base hit. Nicholson gets to it quickly. They're going to send the runner home. The throw's a strong one, but it's offline, and in to score is Dustin Moore. It's a base hit and an RBI for G.W. Keller, and Alabama has stretched it out to a 6-1 lead. Charge that run to Sergio Rodriguez.
Is playing it aggressive all the way, goes to right field on the outside pitch. Nicholson's throw up the line, but he probably would have scored easily. There's more scores with the 6th run.
So you've got runners first and second, still nobody out. 2 runs already in. And Nolan a little bluff back towards second as Brandon Watson, the DH, gets set. Watson has a hit. Alabama with 12 hits in the ball game. They've certainly dominated at the plate in this series. They have out-hit Florida 24-10. There's a strike. 0-1 to Watson. Watson singled and came around to score in the 4th inning. Tidwell driving him in with a base hit. A runner at second base. There you see the catcher, Matt Frick, taking his lead. Fouled into the stands, strike 2. Florida, which has managed just 5 runs in 14 at-bats against Alabama pitching, is going to need at least 5 more runs to tie this ball game as the Crimson Tide lead at 6-1, trying to go 2 up in this 3-game set. Nolan's 0-2 breaking ball fouled out of play. Michael Gray, a junior right-hander, warming up down in the pen for the Florida Gators. Florida probably will not even consider using Josh Fogg in this ball game. Fogg went over 3 innings out of the pen last night. Last weekend, Fogg pitched 3 innings Friday and 3 more on Sunday. Ground ball, Ellis. Eckstein. Wilkerson, 2 down.
That's what the doctor ordered right there.
Mark Ellis starts the double play. Frick advances to third on the 5-4-3.
Ball's hit well. But Ellis gets it in a hurry, and a good turn here by Eckstein for the 5-4-3.
So here's the shortstop Duncan with a runner at third in tight, ball 1. Duncan had to spin out of the way.
It's awfully tough to pitch inside in college baseball. You get up in the pro ranks, minor league ball, they have the wooden bat. You have to learn how to pitch inside, but that aluminum is the great equalizer.
That's ball 2. Two balls, no strikes, the count to Duncan.
That's why Mark Valdez was so effective. His ball would run and bore in on the hands of the right-handed hitter. It would just explode on their hands.
That's low, ball 3.
And even with his ability to do that, there were so many hitters that would just chink him in for a base hit with the aluminum bat.
Chris Nolan in relief of Sergio Rodriguez, trying to get out of this 5th inning jam. There's a strike.
He's just got to lay this one in too, even though he's got a runner at third. It's a number 9 hitter up there. You just got to challenge him. The guy's hitting 083. Go after him.
Fouls it back and the count's full. After next weekend's trip to LSU, Florida has only 6 more games against ranked opponents. Only 6 more. That stands out because they will have already played 18 by the time the LSU series ends. 3-2 pitch, just missed. Nolan thought he might have had it, but it's ball 4. First walk issued by the Florida pitching staff in the ball game. And what that does is it brings the leadoff hitter, David Tidwell, to the plate with a runner at third base, and Tidwell having a heck of a day at the plate.
Josh Hudson now giving the signals for a possible first-third steal attempt.
Florida handled Tidwell very well in yesterday's opener of the series, but the Alabama center fielder has gotten even after an 0 for 5 Friday night. He has 3 hits, 2 stolen bases, has scored a run and driven in a run. And he's up there with runners first and third, 2 out in the top of the 5th inning.
You don't want to worry too much about the runners here. You want to go after the hitter, go get him, get out of the inning, let your offense go to work.
Down low, ball 1.
Let's face it, Larry, I mean, even though the Gators only have 1 run, it's not like Fisher's been breezing through this ball game. He's had some jams that he's had to pitch himself out of. Done a nice job getting out of them, but he hasn't been dominant, and that's not his style anyway.
Throw over to first base and back easily. The runner, Nate Duncan, held on by Brad Wilkerson. There you see that one patch of sun coming in from between the stadium and the field house.
In these long innings where you throw the ball over to first base, so let the other team score and getting base hits, your defense suffers because they fall asleep on you when these innings are long.
Line to center field. Brian Ogle waits on it. And the inning is over, but Alabama continues to score as they have in every inning. 2 runs on 3 hits, 1 error, 2 men left on base at the end of 4 1/2, 6-1 Bama.
Consumer Reports has a great deal for you.
How great is it?
It starts with our 1997 buying guide. Not $8.95, but free.
Wow!
And when it's ready, the 98 guide is a special bonus.
Double wow!
Plus, how to clean practically anything. And $11.95 value for free. And you get them all, along with the next 12 issues of Consumer Reports magazine. Not at the newsstand price of $66.25.
How much?
Just $24 when you call this number.
It's a great deal.
Nice, that made me happy. Be your friend. The Nats. The Florida Gators come to the plate in the bottom of the 5th inning, trailing Alabama by a score of 6-1. In the 3 years of Andy Lopez at Florida and Jim Wells at Alabama, the Crimson Tide has an 8-2 record against the Florida Gators. That is one of the few teams, it might be the only team, to have a decided advantage defensively, or rather in terms of, wins and losses against the Gators over the past 3 years. Florida during those 3 years, 98-49 under Andy Lopez.
I'm going to break into the song "Me and My Shadow" here in a second. Look at this.
You see the shadows lengthening. That's what they mean when they tell you that. Mark Ellis steps in, and he takes strike 1 from Pete Fisher. Fisher, through 4 innings, had thrown 73 pitches, allowing 4 hits. The run against him is earned. He has struck out 3, walked 3. Had some good defensive help behind him and got the key outs that he had to get. Swing and a miss, strike 2.
And that is the key, getting the outs he had to get. You like to see your pitchers, that every inning is not going to be an easy one, and the ones that can get out of those jams usually get their second win somewhere along the line and start breezing.
0-2 pitch, a little pop-up, backing up the shortstop Duncan, and there's 1 down. The key for Florida offensively in this ball game, 1st and 3rd innings, they had 1st and 2nd, nobody out, 2nd and 3rd, 1 out in each of those innings, and failed to score a single run. Sunshine Network has exciting NBA action for you tomorrow right here. The Vancouver Grizzlies will take on the Orlando Magic. Be sure to tune in at 2:30 for the pregame show with Paul Kennedy. NBA territorial restrictions do apply, so check your local listings for availability in your area. Brad Wilkerson at the plate has struck out and walked. Takes a pitch down low again. 2 balls and no strikes. Wilkerson, a guy who's always on base. He's reached base safely 73 consecutive ball games. Tough play for Vaz. He can't make it. And Wilkerson will be safe at first. And they'll charge him an error.
Tough error. Been tough here this year at the scoring.
Tough room.
I'll tell you, that's a tough in-between handcuff shot, running in. Man.
And around here, you're safe. Hey. Just stay back, let the ball bounce 2 more times, and give him an infield hit.
What do you got to know to get a hit around here? Wow.
Here's Derek Nicholson. Nicholson has struck out, sacrificed. And he laces a base hit to center field. That is the 5th hit of the ball game for Florida. They've got 2 on with 1 out. Trailing by 5, looking for someone to drive in a run or 2. And as Nicholson stands on first base, Casey Smith makes his way to the plate for Florida.
This is a big inning for the Gators, the middle of the lineup up here. Good chance for them to creep back into this down 5 runs.
You see Pete Fisher. He has forced Florida to leave 6 runners on base in this ball game. Let's see what Smith can do. He is 0 for 2 in this ball game. Runners lead at first and second. There's a breaking ball up high.
And we've seen today, as you see what Casey has done, they primarily have pitched him away.
Smith had a double in yesterday's ball game, scored a couple of runs. And he calls time at the plate. It's fouled at the plate. 1 ball and 1 strike. Pete Fisher, a transfer from Maine. Maine could have used him Monday against Florida when Florida racked him up 21-2. He had a 5-8 record for the Black Bears last season, but pitched well, had a earned run average of 3.92, worked 85 innings and allowed just 1 home run. Little bluff back towards second.
Makes no sense. You got a 5-run lead. The odds of them double stealing here are very remote. Go get the hitter. What are you thinking about?
High and tight, ball 2. Yeah, I think that would be the shocker right now is if Wilkerson and Nicholson took off.
Let me tell you, if you're Alabama and the Gators decide to double steal, they're doing you a favor. I mean, it'd be whatever you could do to entice them to go. And then, you know, I don't know. I can't figure this out. I'm lost.
Well, we're at McKeithen Stadium, Perry Field in Gainesville, where Florida's hosting Alabama. 6-1, the Crimson Tide on top, bottom of the 5th inning.
Is that Ricky Henderson on second base in a tie game in the 9th?
It's a similar situation to that.
I don't think so.
Fouled off, 2-2. I wonder who Ricky's going to play for this year. He's being actively shopped about. It's going to be another guy who goes to Cooperstown with 14 hats and tells him pick one.
Yeah.
Called strike 3.
Well, you've lost the luxury with 2 strikes and runners in scoring position to be very selective. And again, where is this pitch? Down and away. And it's kind of where they've been pitching them all day, though. I mean, it might not have been a perfect strike, but you have to guard against it with 2 strikes.
So with 2 out and 2 on, Chuck Hazard comes to the plate for Florida. Hazard dropped down in the number 6 spot in the order, trying to find the stroke that made him such a dangerous hitter last year, particularly late in the season. Chuck turned down the New York Yankees, who drafted him, to return to Florida and take strike 1.
Chuck has to just worry about hitting the ball hard here. You start thinking too much about home run, and that's when problems occur. That guy right there with his size, he hits it hard on a continual basis. They'll go out. When you start dipping your shoulder and trying to lift, that's when you fall into bad habits.
He hit that hard into left field for a base hit. Around third, Brad Wilkerson, the throw to the plate, the relay, he is safe. He got his foot on the bag. Frick thought he had blocked him off the plate, but Wilkerson, who chose not to slide and ended up wiping out on the AstroTurf surrounding the home plate area, scores anyway, and it's a 6-2 ball game, and what a relief RBI I think that might be for Chuck Hazard.
Well, I'm proud of Chuck because, you know, here's a situation where all he was trying to do is hit the ball hard where it was pitched, and he really did not do anything bad mechanically to try to lift it up. And now watch, he's going to see a pitch, he's got a little hanger, and he's going to keep his hands back and hit it hard. He's not going to dip his shoulder and try to lift it up, and that's really where you can get yourself out. I think he actually trips on the corner of the base here anyway. He did. He tripped on the corner of the base. Now watch. Now that shot looked like he tripped over his foot, but I mean the umpire couldn't be any closer to the play.
And Brad got his foot inside the left foot of the catcher. Frick touched the plate and then tripped.
And when an umpire is that close and is that demonstrative, you usually don't have much of an argument. Looked like he was staring right at it.
So Florida gets a run at 6-2. Runners still on base, first and second. Ty Martin at the plate, and he takes high for ball 1.
Well, needless to say, there's still work to be done here because you have a golden opportunity. A couple more men on base. You can cut the lead in half here with another base hit.
Down low, 2-0 to Martin. Ty Martin working on a 7-game hitting streak, but has not extended it yet. This would be a heck of a time to do so. Right fielder Dustin Moore well off the line. There's a strike, fouled off play, 2-1. If Martin could pull it down the line, there's a lot of room.
They're pinching the gaps on Martin, leaving both lines wide open. Looks like the left fielder and the second base are playing head up on second base. So if he could pull it or just go down the line, he could score 2 runs easily.
Fastball, strike. Good pitch that time from Fisher. The count's 2-2.
There's no activity in the Alabama bullpen, so Jim Wells very happy at the job Fisher's doing here.
Alabama 18-1 on the year with a staff earned run average of 3.43. Any runs this inning will be unearned as a result of the error charge to Vaz. Swing and a miss. on a breaking ball down and in. That's strike 3. Ty Martin, I'm not sure what he's questioning unless he's asking for a catcher's interference call, but whatever the case, the inning is over. Florida gets a run on 2 hits, an error, 2 left. At the end of 5, Bama still leads it, now by 4.
Be amazed. Caught on camera, the most incredible action-packed video you'll ever see is now available at a store near you. Watch in awe as gripping action and events unfold, all captured on tape. Take a wild ride through shocking, spectacular accidents, courageous rescues, explosive action. These graphic images will stay etched in your mind forever, and it's all caught on camera. And available soon. Experience daring real-life adventure in Life Against Death. And come face to face with the awesome power of nature's fury in Man Against Nature.
The ultimate in reality videos are now available at Coconuts, Saturday Matinee, Record Town, and in stores everywhere.
Or call 1-800-455-4433 and order direct. Call today.
Huh? Yeah. Uh-huh. Oh, yeah. Gator baseball team will finish up the 3-game series with the Crimson Tide of Alabama tomorrow at 1:30. Tickets are just $4 for adults. You have students and users are free with ID, so come on out to the ballpark and enjoy Florida Gator baseball. If you're in the area, the 3rd game of this set between 2 of the nation's top-ranked teams, both in the top 10, will get underway at 1:30. That'll be tomorrow afternoon right here at McKeithen Stadium at Perry Field. Now look at the Florida dugout as we glance at the crowd here at McKeithen Stadium. Florida trailing 6-2. They've been out-hit by a 2-1 margin for the 2nd day in a row. That's the hit breakdown from last night's ball game when the final score was 6-4. Alabama out-hitting the Gators 12-6. Roberto Vaz leads it off for Bama here in the top of the 6th inning. Took a strike and then offered to bunt. Got the bat back in time, so it's 1 ball and 1 strike. The ball hit on the ground to David Eckstein from the outfield grass, throws him out, 1 down. Nola came in and was greeted by a single from G.W. Keller. And then he got a double play grounder, a walk, and line out to end the 5th inning. Sergio Rodriguez, the Florida starter, 4 innings, 11 hits, all 6 runs, 5 earned. Struck out 1, walked none, and stands to be the losing pitcher if Florida does not rally. Joe Caruso takes strike 1. Caruso doubled in the 1st inning. Since then, he has popped up and struck out. And it's 0-2. And the 0-2 pitch, grounded to third baseman and right through Mark Ellis for his 3rd error of the day. Now, Mark Ellis had not made an error in 52 chances this season.
Let's see what happens here. Hits him right in the, actually it came up on the heel of the glove and skipped right into left field. Just a rough day for Mark out there.
1 out, 1 on. Here's Andy Phillips stepping to the plate. First a throw over. Caruso will run a little bit. 7 stolen bases. He's been caught twice. Fouled back for strike 1. Caruso got 2 of those 7 stolen bases in last night's series opener.
And there's no question here if Jim Wells is still playing aggressive baseball, this is a perfect opportunity to send Caruso.
1 out, 1 on, top of the 6th inning. Bama has scored in every inning. 1 run each in the 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th, 2 in the 5th. Popped up right side. That's going to be trouble. Long run. Nicholson near the line. That ball lands just foul. A.J. Lastaglio making the call. Interesting way to pirouette toward the infield in doing so. The degree of difficulty on that call rather high, but it's strike 2.
Get the call right. That's all. It's the umpire's credo. He did. There's AJ. Does a lot of umpiring down Mark-Light Stadium.
No balls, 2 strikes.
Good pitch to run on. The only thing you're guarding against here is a pitch out. Breaking ball count.
Another throw over. No tag even made by Wilkerson that time. Pitch out. Nothing doing. Ball 1.
Yeah, you send him here and dare him to pitch out 2 pitches in a row.
Alabama as a team, 32 stolen bases coming into this ball game. They've been caught 10 times. Florida had 49 steals, but had been caught twice as much. That's up high and tight, evens the count, 2-2.
Well, you know you're going to run them 3-2, so 2-2 is a good pitch to run on because it's a very dangerous pitch to throw a pitch out on. Then you automatically run your count 3-2. This is a good pitch to go on here.
Nolan thinking the same thing, throws over there. Caruso back easily.
Doesn't get a whole lot better than this.
The runner goes, swing and a miss. Throw down to second. It's a strikeout, throw him out, double play. And the inning is over, so Josh Hudson is able to gut out a would-be base stealer, and that does it for Alabama in the top of the 6th inning. For the first time today, Alabama fails to score. No runs, no hits, an error, nobody left on base. We head to the bottom of the 6th inning in Gainesville. Alabama by 4 on Sunshine.
Available on home video for the first time ever, Frank Sinatra's Concert for the Americas. This special 90-minute concert features Frank performing hits such as The Lady is a Tramp.
She gets too hungry for dinner at 8.
This collection is destined to become a classic.
I've got you under my skin.
It's Sinatra at his finest.
Best is yet to come.
This is a must for all collectors.
Send in the clown.
Call now and receive the special companion video as a bonus. Portrait of an Album takes you behind the scenes and into the recording studio with Frank and an all-star cast.
For limited time only, Sinatra's Concert for the Americas and Portrait of an Album are available for just $34.95. For Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, call 1-800-652-2112 or send check or money order today.
Thank you very much.
Here you see the view from center field at McKeithen Stadium, Perry Field, where Alabama leads the Florida Gators by a score of 6-2. Alabama trying to go 19-1 on the year. Southeastern Conference looks to have 5 extremely strong teams this year with Florida, Alabama, LSU, Tennessee, and Auburn. You could very well see 5 SEC teams in NCAA tournament action this year.
And don't count out, even though they got swept by the Gators last week, don't count out Mississippi State just yet.
Okay. You will let me know when I can?
First one.
Okay. Josh Hudson takes strike one, leading off the bottom of the 6th inning. Hudson has walked and singled. He scored back in the 2nd. Chased one, didn't catch up to it. Strike 2. Now, Mississippi State was ranked 13 a week ago. When Florida swept them, they dropped down to number 25 in the Baseball America poll. We need to get Eric DuBose dominating. He's got the ability to be a totally dominant pitcher. Hasn't been someone early this season. We mentioned the other SEC teams currently ranked. 5 of the top 11 in the country. 0-2 popped up. The catcher, Frick, will make the play, and there's one away. Sunshine Network has University of Florida softball action coming your way Sunday. That's tomorrow live at 12 noon as the Florida Gators host South Carolina. South Carolina, number 4 in the nation. Florida in the first year of its program. You'll see it live tomorrow at 12 right here on Sunshine Network. Steve Babick will join me for that one, and we hope you will as well. Ball 1, the delivery to Brian Ogle with 1 out in the 6th inning for the Gators. Ogle's gone the other way with both his at-bats, a double in the 2nd to drive in a run. He lined out to the left fielder in the 4th. Ogle right at the 250 mark for the season. He has 14 hits, 3 doubles, 4 homers, 11 runs batted in. Junior college transfer from Texas, originally from Rapid City, South Dakota. He takes a ball, 2-1. After Ogle, back to the top of the order, and David Eckstein. Pete Fisher for Alabama has gone all the way. He's allowed 6 hits, only 1 earned run. Struck out 5, has walked 3. By my count, pitch number 100 coming up here.
Well, they wanted to get about 6 innings out of him. And 6, 7 innings, they're going to get that, looks like.
Called strike 3. Ogle's out of there. That is 6 strikeouts for the Alabama right-hander.
Again, the situation, that ball looks like it's definitely a strike, but you have to guard against that, even if you think it's borderline. From that angle, looked like it was right there.
So with 2 out, nobody on, David Eckstein next for Florida. David had that single and both stolen bases in the 1st inning, grounded out in the 2nd, and was robbed of a hit. He grounded into a fielder's choice in the 4th inning. Phillips made a great diving stop and then threw out the lead runner, Hudson, at 2nd base. Eckstein will surprise you with power. Hit 9 home runs last year, has 3 this season. And he lines that to right center field for a base hit. So Eckstein with his 2nd hit of the ball game, 7th hit of the game for the Gators, a 2-out single to right center field.
And don't discount the stolen base attempt here with 2 outs. Even though they're down 4 runs, you have a guy, David Eckstein, who
third baseman, number 2, Art Ellis.
90% of the time is going to make it, so it's not as much as of a gamble than you would think. Of course, it would, however, it is still a gamble down 4 runs, but a calculated one.
Eckstein bluffs. The pitch is in the dirt. He takes off. The throw to second, right on the button, but not in time. Well, I tell you, Frick just picked the ball up, wheeled without looking, and fired a strike that almost got Eckstein. There'll be a wild pitch charged to Fisher. Yeah, he saw Lostaglio with the pirouette on the foul ball and figured, hey, I can do that.
That was very nice. Blindly picked it up, and he knew where second base was.
Swing and a miss by Ellis, 1-1. Reminds me of the line from Julius Erving when he was explaining when he was driving to the basket, the only thing he looks at is his defender. And the inquisitor asked, why aren't you looking at the basket? And he says, it hasn't moved in years.
He didn't play in the Catholic grade school league down in Miami. The baskets were always moving.
Eckstein down at second. Ellis calls time with a 1-1 count on him. Florida looking for a 2-out hit to close the gap a little more. It was 6-1, now 6-2. Gators get 3 more shots at Alabama pitching if they need them. Now Fisher steps off.
Now for Eckstein to steal third here down 4 would definitely be chancing it. I think he's right where he needs to be with 2 outs.
Grounded to the third baseman, Phillips. He throws him out. And the inning is over. So Florida gets a hit, but that's all in inning number 6. 2/3 of the game in the books. With the score, Alabama 6, Florida 2. More live action on Sunshine Network after this timeout.
There is a light that shines from up above, a seed of compassion in me.
Dear Carol, can you believe another year has passed? I still remember getting your first letter when I was just 7. And I'll never forget how special I felt when you came to visit.
And you'll have a friend for life. A friend for life.
You have been such an important part of my life. Without your encouragement and kindness, I would have quit my studies. But I couldn't do that because I want so much to be a school teacher, just like you. Thank you for thinking of me. All my love, Matrida.
You'll make a friend for life. I'm always thinking about you.
Listen to your heart. Call Save the Children and sponsor a child today.
Live college baseball action on Sunshine Network. This afternoon, coming to you from McKeithen Stadium, Perry Field, on the campus of the University of Florida, where the Gators are hosting SEC rival Alabama. And so far, the Crimson Tide, which won last night's ball game 6-4, has things in control at 6-2 as Bama bats in the top of the 7th inning, and it's a strike to Dustin Moore, who offered it a pitch up high and out of the zone, but the appeal goes Florida's way, so it's strike 1. Dustin Moore has scored a couple of times in this ball game. Big right-handed hitter, and he takes down low, 1-1. Interesting now that the sun has gone far enough below the grandstand that there are no long shadows on the field. The temperature drops rather quickly.
Supposed to go down to the 40s tonight, what I read.
Now you tell me. Yeah, I'd have packed a sweater. Up high, 2 balls and a strike to Dustin Moore.
I don't believe it, though.
No, I really would have packed a sweater.
That's what I don't believe.
They get a look at the Gators defensively. The field's in good shape. There's ball 3. Chris Nolan in relief of Sergio Rodriguez. Nolan has gone 2 innings, allowed just 1 hit. That hit drove in a run, allowed Dustin Moore to score. That's all Nolan has allowed since coming in. Inside corner, strike 2. And Dustin Moore does what home plate umpires really like. He reached down with his bat and tapped how far inside the pitch was.
Yeah, I'd be up here swinging now.
Hey, got the close one. Low ball forward.
And he fired the bat in the ground. That's just another way of showing up the umpire.
Hey, if you get away with it, why not?
No, for the time being.
The weekend is still young. Moore is on base, nobody out. See how Alabama plays it with a 6-2 lead as Matt Frick comes to the plate. Head coach Jim Wells. 302 career victories, got number 300 during the week. In a win over Winthrop, a team Florida saw at the start of the year.
Well, I tell you that Jim Wells has added so much excitement back in Tuscaloosa. People talking baseball, excited about the trip to the College World Series last year, the SEC championship. One of the bright young coaches in the game.
There's a strike from Nolan, evens the count on Matt Frick at 1-1. It was something to be in Omaha last year with Alabama and LSU and Florida State and Miami. A lot of familiar faces out there.
A lot of Southern schools.
Clemson was also there, along with Wichita State and Oklahoma State, representing the rest of the country. Fastball misses high, ball 2. And that is one for the books, that College World Series championship game of a year ago.
Going to get better than that. What a phenomenal finish. I mean, no matter who you were rooting for, you have to admit it was a great game.
LSU beat Miami on a 2-out, 2-run homer in the bottom of the ninth. Two balls, one strike to Frick with one out, one on and nobody out. 7th inning. There's ball 3. Gator pitching coach Gary Henderson will go out to the mound with a 3-1 count. After this trip to Florida, the Alabama Crimson Tide has another tough one as they go to Tennessee next weekend. Then they will be home to face Vanderbilt and Kentucky. The Florida team, as we have mentioned, has a road trip to Baton Rouge to take on LSU. You'll see 2 of those games next weekend right here on Sunshine. Coming up tonight on Sunshine, we hope you'll stay tuned. 8:30 is airtime for round 1 action of the NCAA Women's Basketball Tournament. The Lady Gators hosting the Golden Panthers of Florida International. Both teams 21-8 on the year. It should be a good matchup. We hope you'll join us for the best seat in your house at 8:30. There's ball 4 to Frick. So in a 6-2 ball game, Chris Nolan walks back-to-back batters to start the 7th inning. Nolan has walked 3 tonight. Michael Gray is certainly ready down in the pen if and when Florida wants to make a move.
Here's Keller in a familiar situation. Runners on first and second, nobody out, where he did not bunt last time.
He ended up with an RBI single.
So let's see if Jim Wells, as the game is drawing a little bit closer to the end, in innings anyway, it'll if he changes his strategy.
There's a swing and a miss for strike 1. Keller, good-looking hitter. Over the 400 mark, has power as evidenced by 6 home runs, one of them in the 2nd inning today. Breaking ball misses inside, and the count goes to 1-1. Bama up by 4, trying to add to that lead. Runners go. Line drive speared by Ellis. It'll be a triple play. Eckstein won on the first. There it is, folks. If you've never seen one, now you can say you have. A triple play in the 7th inning. Ellis to Eckstein to Wilkerson. The crowd's on its feet, even if the Gators are down 4, because for a lot of people, that's something they've never seen. Today they have.
There it is. This is the kiss of death right there. Runners in motion. And he thought about the tag play, but then went ahead and said, hey, look, all I have to do is make one good throw, and we get this, and we're out of it.
Arm strength, quickness, agility, and body control, the essential elements of the winning defensive baseball player. And with Coach Emanski's Defensive Drills video, you'll learn the amazing training secrets of America's finest baseball school. The Defensive Drills video features revolutionary training techniques developed by professional scout and instructor Tom Emanski. Techniques that get results, producing baseball world's back-to-back-to-back AAU national championship teams and even a gold medal in international competition. In a recent review, Collegiate Baseball Magazine exclaimed, with Coach Emanski's techniques, the future of baseball is here today. Even top professional players are impressed. Just ask Major League superstar Fred McGriff.
I'm so impressed with the instructional videos by Coach Emanski that I've given them my full endorsement. When you watch them, you'll know why.
The Defensive Drills video is available now for immediate shipping. It makes a great gift and benefits players of all ages and ability levels. To order, call toll-free 1-800-652-2112. That's 1-800-652-2112. Call now.
Well, Florida has kept Alabama from adding to its lead. A strike him out, throw him out double play in the 6th inning forced Bama to go scoreless in the 6th. The 1st inning, Alabama did not score, and then the 7th inning ended with a tremendous moment.
Runners are hot, and line drive to Ellis. Thought about the tag, then thought better of it. Two easy throws, and you get the triple play, and the momentum now with the Gators, and they got to do something with it.
Brad Wilkerson, Derek Nicholson, Casey Smith, the 3, 4, and 5 hitters for Florida in the bottom of the 7th inning. And down low, ball 1 to Wilkerson. Wilkerson hitless on the day, has struck out, reached on an error, and walked. He scored a run in the 5th inning, coming in on an RBI single by Chuck Hazard.
See, if you're a pitcher, sometimes innings like that make up for times where you make good pitches and they bleed you to death for base hits. 2 walks and a scorching liner, and you're out of the inning.
And it's a 1-2-3 inning. You go back to the, I told you I'd get him quick.
12 pitches. That's all it took. 10 pitches, something like that. I'm back in the dugout.
2-0 pitch is right in there to Wilkerson. Brad Wilkerson leads Florida in most every offensive category. He does not lead in batting average. Nicholson has that one. But Wilkerson leads this ball club in home runs, run batted in, extra base hits, total bases, slugging percentage. Fouls it off. The count's 2-2. He continues to hit and pitch as he has for the first almost year and a half of his Florida career, for another year and a half. I think he'll leave here in pretty much everyone's estimation as the best player in school history. Fisher's 2-2 pitch, taken low. Wilkerson trying to get Florida off to a good start in the bottom of the 7th. And he does.
Just nice and relaxed. Waits on his pitch. And then with the lightning quick hand, strokes it to right.
Activity in the bullpen for Alabama.
That's Kingery.
And Kingery pitched 3 innings last night. Kid, you did such a good job. We're going to get you up again. Of course, he did not have to throw a lot of pitches. He had some pretty quick innings. was very effective, allowed just one hit and got the win. Nicholson steps in there, takes high, ball one.
Jim Wells elects here to hold the runner Wilkerson on for the 4-run lead.
That gives Nicholson a big hole between first and second, but he hits it between the shortstop and the left fielder, and it drops in for a base hit. Now find your spot. Nicholson found one. Hit them where they ain't.
Name of the game right there, and it looked like trouble right off the bat. You couldn't have thrown it in there any better.
So a couple of singles to start the 7th for the Florida Gators. This is a good opportunity to close the gap, trailing 6-2. And Casey Smith will be called over to the dugout as there's a brief meeting on the mound.
Just one hands it out there, and again, trouble right out of the start. A little indecision, but no one was going to get that ball.
Nolan Fielder, number 15, Casey Smith.
G.W. Keller, generally a DH for Alabama. Their left fielder Drew Bounds did not get the start because Florida went with a left-handed pitcher.
I saw Drew Bounds getting ready to hit against the right-handed offerings of Nolan. We may see him lead off next inning.
He may come in as a DH replacing
Watson. Yeah, he
Watson.
He was in the on-deck circle. And with the Gators having a right-hander in the bullpen, that's looked like a clear-cut decision.
Yeah, I expected him to hit for Keller, to be honest with you, so he could play left field. Keller came in as a middle infielder.
And Keller swinging the hot bat today.
That's for sure. A homer, a single, and that scorcher that became a triple play. First and second, nobody out. Here's Casey Smith at the plate. Casey 0 for 3 at the bat. Fouls it off third base side, strike one.
It's getting late, so Andy Lopez letting Casey swing away.
Florida down 4 in the 7th. Florida has had 10 come from behind victories in the first 23 games this season. Only 6 times have they led wire to wire. And the dirt gets away from Frick, and runners will be second and third with nobody out.
Well, that helps the Gators here because now you eliminate the possible ground ball double play. Wild pitch, and Frick really got a little lazy there. Instead of dropping to the knees and smothering, he just kind of tried to scoop it.
Almost trying to short hop it like a first baseman.
Awfully tough to do.
So second and third, nobody out. 1 ball, 1 strike to Casey Smith. That'll get one home. Shortstop Duncan goes to third. They've got Nicholson hung up. He's going to try to get in a rundown long enough for Smith to advance, but he cannot do so. So base running mistake by Nicholson. He is out. Smith is safe at first. Give him an RBI, however, and it's a 6-3 ball game.
The designated hitter, number 24, Chuck Hazard.
So Chuck Hazard steps in. Florida now within 3.
Nicholson went ahead and tried to take third, as you said. Base running mistake because at that point, ball in the hole, anything can happen. Chances are they would have thrown him out at first, but you at least keep your guy at second base.
Foul off the first base side and out of play for strike one. Chuck Hazard, an RBI single his last time up. It was his 18th run batted in of the season. Junior from Dallas, Texas. New York Yankee fan. Grew up in Connecticut before moving to Dallas. Takes that pitch outside, and the count's even at 1-1. Ty Martin, Josh Hudson to follow as Florida tries to get more than one run out of this 7th inning opportunity. In tight, ball 2. Hazard with that wide open stance. Should be 2. Caruso on the first double play, and the inning is over. Well, Florida gets a run to get within 3. 2 hits, nobody left on base. We head to the 8th inning, 6-3 Alabama.
Tired of waiting hours for one priceless sports moment? Don't bellyache about it. Run over to the phone and order the all-new video collection that goes wall to wall with nothing but the most outrageous instant replays ever. The totally incredible sports collection from Global. Not 5, not even 6, but 7 unforgettable sports videos. All for one low price of just $19.97. There's no catch. Just hours of the most thrilling, the most chilling, and the just plain weirdest moments in sports history on 7 videos you won't run into anywhere else. No other collection gives you more bang for your buck. So if you like your sports over the top, then drop what you're doing, put your fingers in motion, and call now.
Call 1-800-652-2112 to get the totally incredible sports collection for you or your favorite sports fan. 7 wild videos, a more than $100 value for just $19.97, and a double your money back guarantee. Call now, 1-800-652-2112.
Show you out, or by stopping by the Gator ticket office.
Well, it was 78 degrees on bright sunshine when this game began, but the sun is gone. It has cooled off, and it's a very pleasant Saturday evening at the University of Florida. But for the Gator baseball team, the scoreboard's not a pleasant sight. 6-3 Alabama on top. Florida with 2 more shots at Alabama pitching, but the Gator pitching has to keep the score at 6-3 as well. Chris Nolan's done a nice job, helped out by that triple play. Boy, was he helped out. 2 walks to start the inning. And then Keller hit the scorcher up over Mark Ellis. Ellis went up and got it. And basically undid the damage of all 3 of his earlier errors by turning a potential 2-run double into a triple play. Michael Gray's been up there a lot. Evan Fujinaga, junior left-hander, is in. And we've got a pinch hitter into the ball game for Alabama. That's Robbie Tucker batting for Watson rather. Watson was 1 for 3. There's a high drive to right. Wow. Robbie Tucker's 2nd home run of the year, and he hit it a ton. 7-3 Alabama. They get the run back in 1 pitch. Robbie Tucker with a pinch hit blast to right field for Alabama.
It's a backbreaker, as you said. The Gators scratch and claw for that 1 run, and then 1 swing. The equalizer. He had that breaking ball measured into the night.
The last pinch hit home run by a Gator opponent. If I name the guy, you can tell me the school, can't you? Kevin DiGiacomo.
Oh, yeah, sure.
1992 Miami Hurricane.
University of Miami, yeah.
Nate Duncan 0 for 2 on the day is averaged down to 0.83. There you see the numbers. Bama's lead back to 4. There's a strike, 0-2 the count. Nolan winds. Here's the 0-2. Struck him out. Fastball in on the hands. That is the 2nd strikeout for Nolan, who has walked 3. And there's one out of the Alabama 8th inning.
He goes after him inside, as you said. The ball has a little bit of run on it.
The center fielder, number 26, David Tidwell.
That'll bring up Tidwell. Tidwell scored in the first inning. Drove in a run with a base hit in the 4th. 3 for 4, a run scored, a run batted in, 2 stolen bases. Had a job you like to see out of your leadoff man if you're Jim Wells?
Not a bad time to drop a bunt here.
Swing and a miss at the high hard one. It's 1-1.
Mark Ellis about even with the bag at maybe a half a step in as the pitch is coming, but the whole idea here is to get it to a spot.
Thought about it. He was listening to you.
Yep.
Well, he took the pitch instead, and it's strike 2. That's an indication he thought about it, but decided it wasn't a good idea. And as the ball went by, he thought, it was a good idea. I should have bunted. Can I see that one again, please? 1-2 pitch, line to right field. Right there, Derek Nicholson. Talk about your scouting report paying off. Nicholson, only about 30 feet off the right field line, made that an easy play.
Yeah, they had the center fielder, Ogle, playing, shading well to the right side.
Number 28, Roberto Vaz.
And Nicholson, as you said, just off the line. Nice job right there.
Here's Roberto Vaz.
You can't fall asleep on this guy because he'll hurt you too. You got 2 outs and you got to go hard for this guy too.
There's ball 2.
Your count. Your zone.
2-0 pitch, high drive to right field. Nicholson at the wall has no room. Vaz has his 3rd homer of the weekend, his 7th of the season, and Alabama rebuilds its lead to 5.
Well, you knew he had the ability. Obviously, it's why with 2 outs, you really can't ease up at all. But I tell you what, that ball didn't sound all that good coming off the bat either. But it got out of the yard.
The second baseman, number 5, Joe Caruso.
He didn't get good aluminum on it?
No, he didn't get good tin at all.
Here's Caruso. And he takes ball 1. Chris Nolan had allowed 2 home runs in his first 11 outings. He's allowed 2 home runs here in the 8th inning. Down low, 2 balls, no strikes. Caruso doubled his first time up. Since then, he's popped up, struck out, and reached on an error. Popped up right side. David Eckstein should handle it. And that's the top half of the 8th inning, but the damage is done for Alabama as Robbie Tucker and Roberto Vaz hit solo homers. We go to the bottom of the 8th inning. Bama's lead back to 5.
It is a test. not just of strength, but of the power of the mind. And if you complete the journey, you will be changed forever. The few, the proud, the Marines.
Well, Florida gets 2 more at-bats against the Alabama Crimson Tide, but, Nick, this is a tough time to mount a 5-run rally after being down 5 and, as you mentioned, scratching and clawing just to get 2 of those 5 out of the way, and then boom, boom, the leads 5 again.
And it is a back-breaking thing. You see the new left fielder. I think that's Tucker.
We'll check on who that is. They pointed at him, but he would not be kind enough to turn around and give us a good look.
Would be Tucker or Bounds?
Probably Drew Bounds. It is Drew Bounds, we have confirmed. So Drew Bounds in left field for Alabama. Pete Fisher still out there for the Crimson Tide as he starts off the 8th inning. A 1-ball, 1-strike count to Ty Martin. Fisher got the double play grounder from Hazard to end a little bit of trouble in the 7th inning. And a grounder to the second baseman Caruso to start off the 8th. Been impressed with Fisher. Doesn't overpower you, doesn't wow you, but keeps it around the zone, keeps it down, and
came in as known as a ground ball pitcher. Has shown his ability to entice that.
Now batting the pitcher, number 13, Josh Hudson.
Here's Josh Hudson. Hudson had 7 straight hits before popping up his last time up, and he takes a strike. Now time called at the plate. Hudson with 14 hits in his last 29 at-bats after starting out his freshman season 0 for 12. That's a little bit outside, 1-1. After Hudson, Brian Ogle. Florida down by 5. The Gator offense has 5 more outs to work with. If the Gators do not rally in this ball game, tomorrow they'll be trying to avert a sweep. They did not get swept in an SEC series last year.
People fail to realize this is such a tough conference, and so easily to have that happen to you. The Gators have had great success.
2 balls, 2 strikes to Josh Hudson.
Very difficult to sweep in the Southeastern Conference.
Down low, and it's a full count. Well, by my count, pitch number 129 coming up now for Fisher. That's a lot of pitches at any time, especially the first half of the season. There's walk number 4. So Hudson goes down to first base. The second time Hudson has walked in this contest. 1 out, 1 on for Brian Ogle. There's a strike. Florida scored runs in the 2nd, 5th, and 7th. Ogle's RBI double was in the 2nd inning. There's a ball hit in the air to shallow right field. Coming in, Dustin Moore, 2 down. 2 out. Back to the leadoff man, David Eckstein, who's had a couple of hits today. Of course, it's a little different when you're at the plate and you got your big brother coaching at first base. Here's Rick.
Rick does a fine job talking to a couple of the Gator coaches. They say he works hard, as you would expect.
Eckstein off the glove of Phillips down the left field line. It'll be a double for David Eckstein. Runners will be second and third for Mark Ellis.
Well, you got to think if the Gators are going to make a move, it's got to be this inning, even with 2 outs, because you got your big boppers coming up now. David keeps it going.
And at this point, you're just one bop away from having a legit shot.
Scorches this down the line. Phillips just gets it off the end of his glove.
And that might be it for Pete Fisher as the head coach Jim Wells begins to make his way out toward the bullpen, toward the mound, looking to the bullpen.
And this has been quite a blue-collar job by Pete Fisher. He's done an outstanding job. Not only has he had to leave with his team up by 5 runs in an 8-3 ball game, he saves a lot of arms in that bullpen that they could use tomorrow.
We'll take a short break here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Perhaps the most important at-bat of the night for the Gators is coming up.
There is a light that shines from up above, a seed of compassion in me.
Dear Carol, can you believe another year has passed? I still remember getting your first letter when I was just 7. And I'll never forget how special I felt when you came to visit.
And you have a friend for life. A friend for life.
You have been such an important part of my life. Without your encouragement and kindness, I would have quit my studies. But I couldn't do that because I want so much to be a school teacher, just like you. Thank you for thinking of me. All my love, Matrida.
You'll make a friend for life. I'm always thinking about you.
Listen to your heart. Call Save the Children and sponsor a child today.
Well, the Florida Gators have trailed basically since the national anthem. Alabama scored in each of the first 4 innings, 2 in the 5th, 2 in the 8th. Florida trailing 8-3 with 2 out in the bottom of the 8th inning. But they have 2 runners in scoring position, and a base hit could get the Gators within 3. Alabama makes a pitching change, and right-hander Jared Kingery comes in. He's a junior college transfer from Central Alabama Community College. Kingery, the winning pitcher in last night's ball game, went 3 scoreless innings, allowing just 1 hit.
10th appearance on the year. You can see 2-0, 15 innings, only 5 hits, 5 walks, 7 strikeouts. So his job right here, shut the door. You have to go back out and do it one more time.
Kingery threw 42 pitches in last night's outing. Really kept the ball down the whole time. Florida has Hudson at 3rd and Eckstein at 2nd. Grounded foul, strike 1 to Mark Ellis. Ellis has walked, bunted for a base hit, popped up and grounded out. 1 out of 3, couple of stolen bases for the sophomore 3rd baseman.
Gators need to get 2 more men on to bring the tying run to the plate.
Ellis calls time at the plate. There you see the situation as David Eckstein takes his lead at second base. Now Kingery steps off the rubber and he wants to meet with his catcher.
Rick said, why? I just gave you the signals.
Well, you gave me the wrong one. I don't throw a screwball. Well, learn. Runners lead at second and third for Florida. Up high, 1 ball, 1 strike. Wilkerson on deck. He'll bat if Ellis can get on.
Hey, Mark, get on base here now, buddy.
Kingery again.
Look at the frustration on Frick. All right, let's relax. Here we go.
Kingery's ready. There's strike 2. Inside part of the plate.
Frick saying, look, just think out there. You just throw it, I'll catch it. That'll make it easier.
And he balks. Kingery, with all he was going through and all the confusion and apparent anger that sort of seems to be building between the two, he balks in a run.
Said he was on the rubber and he went to his cap and then came out. That was the motion that the umpire made.
No argument at all from Jim Wells. So our run is balked in. It's an 8-4 ball game. That gets Florida within a slam.
There, right there. You can't do that. Not when you're towing the rubber, you can't.
There's a high drive to left field. Bonds to the wall. He's going to have room. Just a step in front of the fence. Mark Ellis gave it a ride, but it got off one exit too soon. Florida gets 1 in the bottom of the 8th. They trail by 4 with 1 inning to play.
Available on home video for the first time ever, Frank Sinatra's Concert for the Americas. This special 90-minute concert features Frank performing hits such as The Lady is a Tramp.
She gets too hungry for dinner at 8.
This collection is destined to become a classic.
I've got you under my skin.
It's Sinatra at his finest.
Best is yet to come.
This is a must for all collectors.
Send in the clown.
Call now and receive the special companion video as a bonus. Portrait of an Album takes you behind the scenes and into the recording studio with Frank and an all-star cast.
For limited time only, Sinatra's Concert for the Americas and Portrait of an Album are available for just $34.95. For Visa, MasterCard, or American Express, call 1-800-652-2112 or send check or money order today.
Thank you very much.
Florida Alabama game now at 1:30 p.m.
Well, the one thing Chris Nolan has done for the Florida Gators is pretty much rested the remainder of the bullpen, although Michael Gray threw a lot of pitches down in the bullpen. Nolan has gone 4 innings, allowing 3 hits, 2 runs, both earned, both coming on home runs in the 8th inning. For Nolan, this is uncharted territory. He had gone 3 2/3 innings in 3 different relief efforts this year. Against Southwestern Louisiana, in which he got the win, against Florida State, in which he got no decision, and against Mississippi State, where he picked up a save, pitching the final 3 2/3 of a ball game. His first pitch of the 9th inning is ball 1 to Andy Phillips. Phillips, Dustin Moore, Matt Frick. Pop back our way. Karam's right back out front. There's somebody's dad. They're walking. They're on their way out. They get a ricochet foul ball, and they keep on trucking. 1 ball, 1 strike to Phillips.
That kind of luck, you should go buy a lottery ticket.
Line drive to center field. He hit it hard, but Ogle on the run off his glove. Looked like Brian Ogles seemed to have it all the way, but it glanced off his glove. And they'll give a double to Andy Phillips.
Got a good running jump on it, and as you said, it looked like he had it measured. That's on the inner half. Well, because he had to leave his feet practically and backhand it, you got to give him a double, but he gave the appearance as if he had it measured.
So the leadoff man is on second for Alabama. Crimson Tide would like to add to their lead. They're up 4. They answered each time Florida has scored. When it was 2-0, Florida got a run in the second. Alabama answered. Alabama led 6-2. Florida got a run in the 5th, another in the 7th to close the gap. Alabama answered with 2 in the 8th, and after the Gator run in the bottom of the 8th, here we are in the 9th inning, and Bama looking to answer once again. And they do. There's a gapper right center field. That'll be at least a double for Dustin Moore. They'll stop him at second base. It's an RBI double for Moore, and the ball game is now 9-4.
Well, Phillips and Moore trade places and making it increasingly harder for the Gators to come back now, 5 runs down.
The catcher, number 16, Matt Briggs.
This is a fastball that you can see just opens the hips towards right field, doesn't try to do too much with it, and scorches it to right center.
Florida pitching coach Gary Henderson on the way to the mound, and that's going to be it, apparently, for Chris Nolan. Michael Gray up again in the bullpen, and Michael Gray will get a chance to come into the ball game. So Nolan gets a nice round of applause. 4 innings of work for the Florida baseball team. But 2 hard-hit doubles to start off the 9th inning, and junior college transfer Michael Gray will make his way into the contest for the Gators. 9-4 the score as Gray heads to the mound. You see up there in the 6th and 7th innings, the only time Florida has kept Alabama from scoring.
New pitcher for the Gators is number 17.
We'll take a break as Michael Gray begins loosening up for the Florida Gators. Alabama closing in on a second straight win over the Gators, leads by 5.
So, Delmar, how many chickens have you got on this farm?
50,000.
Wow. Sometimes you get so busy on the farm, you ever miss having breakfast?
Sometimes we'll have breakfast for dinner, yeah.
Well, what would you think about a country omelet that has ham, cheese, hash browns, and onions in it, and comes with buttermilk pancakes? Or a chicken fajita omelet? Or how about an international omelet with cheese, ham, and chili salsa?
I'd like to try it.
So this is Cliff in America's Heartland, reminding you that any time is a great time for breakfast at IHOP. So, Delmar, which did come first, then, the chicken or the egg?
I don't know.
Come on, buy a mattress by telephone? Fact is, more people call Dial-A-Mattress for quality name brand bedding than anyone. Call 1-800-MATTRESS for Sealy Posturepedic, Serta Perfect Sleeper, and Simmons Beauty Rest at rock-bottom prices every day of the year. With delivery on your approval and our comfort exchange service, it's no wonder Dial-A-Mattress is #1. Dial-A-Mattress. Brand name beds for busy people. Call 1-800-MATTRESS. Leave off the last S for savings.
Live on Sunshine Network coming up in just over an hour. It'll be NCAA women's basketball tournament action as Florida hosts Florida International at the O'Connell Center right here in Gainesville. We certainly hope you'll stay tuned to Sunshine for all that action. Florida looking to try to reach the Sweet 16 for the first time in school history. They need 2 wins in order to do it. Michael Gray into the ball game for Florida, delivers strike 1. Do want to mention in the first game of that doubleheader, Southern Cal leads San Francisco 41-35 at halftime. The winner of that game will play the winner of Florida FIU for a spot in the Sweet 16. You see the numbers on Gray, 26 hits in 17 innings. One ball and 1 strike.
Michael Gray shows you a different look, lower arm slot when he releases the ball. Gets a little bit of more movement on it. Ball has some sink because of it.
There's a line drive to left for a base hit. Moore will stop at third. Runners first and third. Still nobody out in the 9th inning. Michael Gray has allowed hits in all but one of his appearances. This being his 11th appearance as a Gator. 10 of them out of the pen. The only time he did not allow a hit, he came in and worked 2/3 of an inning against Florida State. He had an effective start against the Seminoles. On Sunday, March 2nd, 5 2/3 innings, allowed just 3 earned runs. The Gators lost the ball game. He did not figure in the decision. From North Florida Community College near Madison, or in Madison, which is 1 hour on the east side of Tallahassee. There's strike one to Drew Bounds. Lefty swinger started last night's ball game. Not in the lineup today, but entered for defensive purposes and was out there to catch Mark Ellis's drive that came up about 4 feet shy of the fence. Takes a pitch inside, does Bounds, and the count's 1-1. Gray's 1-1 pitch, down low, ball 2.
Gators have to play the infield in. They cannot allow Alabama to score another run.
Ball 3. Over at third base, Dustin Moore. He had an RBI double. At first, Matt Frick, who singled for his 3rd hit of the ball game. Runners lead on the corners. 3-1 pitch fouled off, 3-2. Of course, Bama with 17 hits has had productivity throughout the lineup. Every spot except the number 9 spot has at least 1 hit. Runner at first goes. It's a foul at the plate. And they'll do it again at 3-2.
Only a 5-run lead. Things can happen in college baseball, so running in this spot wouldn't exactly be pouring it on. Especially on a 3-2 count, you can understand setting it.
Low, ball 4. Still nobody out in the 9th inning, and the bases are loaded for the Tide. And Robbie Tucker strides to the plate. Lefty swinger. Left-hander Evan Fujinaga, Florida's designated get the lefty out guy. Warming up quickly. He's been up before, so he could get ready in the number of tosses it would take during the slow walk to the mound if Gary Henderson and Andy Lopez want to make a change, but apparently they won't. Tucker fouls it off, strike 1. Tucker pinch hit in the 8th inning and hit a tremendous home run to right field. He's a junior from Huntsville, Alabama. Inside, 1 ball, 1 strike.
Gators still have to keep their infield in. Ideally, what they're hoping for is a hot smash to the corner guys and maybe turn a double play. They would start off by throwing it to home first.
Deep drive to left field. Casey Smith watches it sail out of here. It's a grand slam for Robbie Tucker. 2 at-bats, 2 home runs, 5 runs batted in. Alabama blows it open. It's 13-4.
Robbie Tucker, a guy who's only played about a third of this game and has emerged as the star.
That is the 4th homer of the game for the Crimson Tide, which has 38 home runs in 20 games this season. That's almost to a game now.
Number 7, Nate Duncan.
Oh, the pitch was up. So he pulls one pitch out for a home run, goes with the other pitch out for a home run. Coaches love seeing that.
And there is a strike to Duncan. Yeah, the only thing you got to wonder is why wasn't he in the starting lineup?
Well, this is a statement he's making. This is his way of saying, Coach.
Roller back to Gray. And there's the first out of the 9th inning.
Of course, with a left-handed Sergio Rodriguez starting, I'm sure it's a platoon system.
The center fielder, number 26, David Tidwell.
Tucker came into the game with 1 homer, 14 RBI, 8 hits and 38 at-bats, 4 of the 8 for extra bases. So of his 10 hits, 6 are extra base hits, 3 doubles, 3 homers. Top of the order, David Tidwell steps in and he takes a strike.
This would not be a good time to lay down a bunt. Not if you want to keep peace.
Not if you want to keep Vaz in the lineup. He's on deck thinking, oh. Put on an extra helmet, chest protector, anything else you can find. 13-4 Alabama. There's a strike. Michael Gray ahead on the count. No balls, 2 strikes. That home run, the 5th allowed by Michael Gray this season in 17 1/3 innings of work.
This is an interesting at bat for someone who's trying to scout a player. See how he handles the fact that his team has a 9-run lead. He's got a couple hits in the ball game. Does his concentration wane here?
Swing and a miss. He struck him out. Only the 4th strikeout for Florida pitching today. And with 2 out in the 9th inning, Roberto Vaz will be the batter.
You see, he pulled out everything out on that pitch.
Vaz homered his last time. 2 hits in this game, 5 in the series.
And he had a scorching liner out to right field. It just sounded weird. Where's these bats today?
1 ball, 1 strike. Alabama came into this game with a team batting average of .355, averaging 11.5 runs a ball game. There's a base hit through the box.
Well, you got to like this Roberto Vaz. Do it all.
The second baseman, number 5, Joe Caruso.
What a fine addition. You find guys like a Brad Wilkerson, Roberto Vaz. Well, it makes such a... There's the 2 franchises right there.
Florida signing Wilkerson out of high school and Bama getting Vaz out of the junior college ranks. Here's a strike from Michael Gray to Joe Caruso.
The Gators assured of having Brad Wilkerson at least 3 years. Vaz, this may be a 1-year deal.
Andy Lopez does not spend a lot of time or a lot of scholarship budget money, recruiting budget money on the junior college ranks for that very reason. Grounded left side, Ellis gloves it, flips to Eckstein for the force, and the 9th inning finally comes to a close, but not before Alabama puts this thing out of reach with 5 runs on 5 hits. There was a walk, 1 man left on base. Bottom of the 9th coming up. Alabama's up 13-4. Well, it never was a packed house here at McKeithen Stadium, but when the good guys are down 9, the home folks may have headed over to the O'Connell Center to get geared up for some basketball that's coming up here tonight in Gainesville. The NCAA first-round doubleheader, San Francisco Southern Cal underway as we speak. Florida International coming up at 8:30 live on Sunshine. Brad Wilkerson doesn't waste an at-bat. He steps right in there and strokes a single to right field. Jared Kingery, who got the last out of the 8th inning, will finish off the ball game apparently.
They just traded places, those two guys. Say, weren't you just here?
The right fielder, number 11, Derek Nicholson.
Indeed they were. Vaz and Wilkerson have seen a lot of each other over there at first base.
A budding friendship right there.
High ball 1 to Nicholson. Of course, when Vaz has been at the plate, his visits to first haven't lasted very long. He's going to run right by most of the time. Hey, Brad, see ya. 1-0 to Nicholson, fouled back.
They play way off the bag at first now, so they can't continue the conversation they started last inning. See him way back there.
He can't even pass notes. There's a line drive to right center field. That'll drop for a base hit. So Wilkerson and Nicholson both pick up singles. Florida with 12 hits on the day. And that'll bring up Casey Smith. Casey's had a lot of opportunities in this ball game. There have been people on base every time he's been up there. In fact, there have been 2 men on base each of his 4 at-bats, but he's 0 for 4. Did get an RBI on a ground out in the 7th inning with runners on 2nd and 3rd. Kingery's pitch is up high, ball 1. Lazy fly ball to left field. Drew Bounds handles it for the first out of the inning. That finishes an 0 for 5 for Casey Smith and will bring up Chuck Hazard.
The designated hitter, number 24, Chuck Hazard.
Hazard has 1 hit today.
If you're Kingery here, you're just making sure you keep it around the plate. Let the Gator hitters put it in play and let your defense do the rest.
There's strike 1.
Nice spot.
Kingery struck out Hazard on a called 3rd strike last night. Chuck just 1 for 8 in this series. That's fouled at the plate.
You see Frick point out, that's it. Stay ahead. Does not look happy. He's looking for a possible suspect, I think.
I know that guy. Name's Paul. Good guy.
Yeah.
Except when he's putting handcuffs on you, he gets a little cranky. Oh-2 pitch, slow roller to short. I don't think they have a chance to turn 2. They'll get Hazard at first. No! Indecision is always a bad decision. Duncan looked at second and then threw softly to first. And Hazard ends up with an infield single, bases loaded. Well, for one thing you got to do is you got to give credit to Chuck Hazard. Almost anybody, the vast majority of players would just have trotted down to first just fast enough so the coach didn't yell at you. But he went full go.
Great pitch, and the look over is what cost them. And then, again, the soft toss. Hazard running hard all the way. Give him credit, as you said.
Bases loaded, 1 out, 13-4, Alabama leads. Ty Martin takes ball 1.
I mean, you really, your play there is, you know, you're not holding the runner on at first. You go ahead and you get the out. Trade the out. For 90 feet, you're up 9 runs.
Mental error, maybe not a physical one,
correct.
but certainly a mental one.
Yep.
1 ball, 1 strike. Florida will turn to freshman right-hander Matt McClendon to try to salvage the final game of this series tomorrow afternoon. He has been struggling. Florida really needs a good start out of him. Gators got 6 innings out of Tommy Bond last night. Tommy allowed 3 runs, did not factor in the decision in the 6-4 10-inning Gator loss. 4 innings from Sergio Rodriguez, who is the pitcher of decision today. Grounded first and through for a base hit. 1 run is in. They'll stop Nicholson. Bases will be loaded. It's 13-5. Florida with 4 singles here in the 9th inning. Give an RBI to Ty Martin, as Wilkerson came in to score for the 3rd time in this contest. Well, if Josh Hudson can get a hold of one, people will start squirming a little bit. But we're going to first have a pitching change as Jim Wells
We see what the Gators do with Brad Wilkerson. Roberto Vaz is doing the same thing. He's starting to loosen up a little bit in the background as Kingery leaves the game. And that's Roberto Vaz, just in case he's needed later in this inning. They're starting to get him loose.
Vaz has 3 saves and has not allowed a run in 7 2/3 innings, a total of 8 appearances. Into the ball game, a right-hander from Cherokee, Alabama, Michael Daniel, 6'3", 180-pound right-hander.
Michael Daniel.
See the numbers on Michael, 2-0, 3.18 ERA. This is his 6th game. Has started in 2 ball games, 17 innings, only 13 hits, and a sparkling walk-to-strikeout ratio of 6-1, 3 walks, 18 strikeouts.
Jared Kingery leaves the ball game, having gone 2/3 of an inning, allowing 4 hits, 1 run. It's earned. He's responsible for all 3 base runners. Kingery did not strike out or walk a batter. Can't factor in the decision, but his ERA, which was 0.59, will go up at least a little bit, and could be quite a bit if some of these other runners come around to score. We're in the bottom of the 9th inning. Alabama 13, Florida 5, along with Nick Belmonte. I'm Larry Vittel. Our producer-director tonight is John Liu. And we're glad to have you tuned in wherever you're watching Sunshine Network. Jim Wells, more to talk about, apparently, with Daniel and Frick. So let's see how it goes here in the bottom of the 9th inning. Florida has the bases loaded with Nicholson, Hazard, and Martin. Josh Hudson, who has a base hit in this ball game, has walked a couple of times, scored a couple of runs, comes to the plate. Hudson on the year, 341 average. Couple homers, 10 RBI. Hit a 3-run homer in Tallahassee against Florida State. That was his first hit as a Florida Gator, a 3-run homer in Tallahassee. Made a lot of fans that day. Daniels' first pitch is down low, ball 1.
I think the biggest fan he made was Andy Lopez. At least that's the one that counts.
That would certainly appear to be the case. Hudson has become the regular catcher for Florida. Out of Columbus, Georgia. Josh stepped down on Daniel, now steps back in there. Alabama infield double play depth. They want to try to get a grounder in the middle of the infield. Now Hudson steps out yet again. I don't know what the problem is with Josh. Daniel sets. Ball 2. Hudson trying to drive in some runs. Florida is down 8. But as long as you keep getting hits, you get to keep playing.
That's right. There's no time in baseball, no clock.
There's also no crying in baseball. Remember that.
Huh. That's only in the movies. There's plenty of crying in baseball. Plenty.
2 balls, 1 strike to Hudson. Now I'm disappointed. You tell me everything in the movies isn't exactly the way it is? Jeez. Don't even talk to me about December 25th. I don't want to hear it. And now time called at the plate again, and the catcher Frick will go out to talk to Michael Daniel. Now, if it was 6-5 or 7-5, this would make some sense.
The ball up there. I will catch it.
They're not going anywhere. You don't need to change the signs around.
Did you see the umpire call out a timeout in disgust right there? Kind of just waved at him. Like, get it together, guys.
2 balls, 1 strike to Josh Hudson. 1 out, bases loaded. Strike 2, fouled out of play. Brian Ogle on deck for Florida. And David Eckstein could get his 6th at-bat of the night. A 5-run 9th inning. There's Brian Ogle, senior from Texas JUCO ranks. Alabama broke it open with 5 in the top of the 9th inning. 2-2 pitch called, strike 3. So Daniel strikes out Hudson looking, and there's 2 out of the 9th.
The center fielder, number 38,
Pitch appeared to be low, but hey, it's a 9-run game. Or actually a 8-run game. Got to be up there hacking.
Brian Ogle doubled his first time up. Since then, he has lined out, struck out, and popped up to shallow right field. He takes ball 1. Alabama will improve to 19-1 on the year, 4-1 in the Southeastern Conference. Florida will fall to 16-8, 3 up, 2 down in SEC play. And Florida will have gone 5 games into the SEC season without seeing a home team win. 1-0 pitch. That's it deep to right field. Dustin Moore on the run. It's over his head. It's gone. A grand slam for Brian Ogle. It's 13-9.
Well, this will bring out Jim Wells. Brian Ogle is, as you put it earlier, Larry, making people squirm on the Alabama side of the field.
That's a 5-run inning, and now we're going to see Roberto Vaz come into the contest. Not a save situation. Now this is this cracks me up. All right, that no signal to the bullpen. Vaz leaves the field, I guess, to get a different glove, but the replacement first baseman is already out on the field. That's Tucker, the DH.
Pitch was down. I mean, it was a good spot. Just went down and got it. Balls are flying out of there on the line today on that side of the field.
That's a 5 RBI day for Brian Ogle. It's his 5th home run of the season. Ogle might need to move up in the lineup as Brian Ogle, in terms of per at-bat, his home runs and runs batted in, certainly better than a lot of his teammates. Vaz took his time in the dugout, finally trots back out there, and he will begin his warm-up tosses in an effort to get the final out that Alabama needs to end this ball game. 13-9 now the score, as each team has scored 5 times in the 9th inning.
Number 35, Robbie Tucker, moves to first base.
Vaz has been outstanding out of the bullpen for Alabama. And all he needs to get is 1 out. There's a situation here on Sunshine Network, live from McKeithen Stadium, Perry Field in Gainesville. Alabama leads Florida 13-9. Florida with 5 runs in the bottom of the 9th inning to make it respectable, if not yet interesting. A couple base runners would certainly make it interesting.
Well, you could do the math here with 2 outs. Derek Nicholson, if he gets the chance, would be the tying run at the plate.
Florida would have to get 3 straight guys on to bring the tying run up there. There you see Vaz, 7 2/3 innings, 1 hit, 9 strikeouts, no runs, 3 saves. See ya. He just...
The second baseman, number 18, David Eckstein.
Feel bad for Kingery with no rest after a 3-inning effort in which he threw 42 pitches. As you see Robbie Tucker over at first. Kingery comes in with no rest and gets charged with 4 runs in this ball game. So his ERA goes through the roof.
Let me tell you something. If Jim Wells doesn't insert Tucker in this ball game, Gators win.
There's strike 1 to Eckstein. Robbie Tucker now at first base. Came in the 8th and hit a solo homer and hit a grand slam in the 9th. 2 homers, 5 RBI, and now he's over at first base. And Alabama 1 strike from victory.
Fairly ordinary game, a couple of grand slams and a triple play.
Didn't have catcher's interference yet.
Or the infield fly roll.
Was asked for. 0-2 to Eckstein, fouls it off. David Eckstein with 3 hits today, 2 singles and a double. He's raised his average to .327 on the year. Frick started over to the dugout. I'm not sure what that was all about. They sent him back to the home plate. Getting tired of flashing signs, he's going to walk over and they'll just tell him. I'm going to just holler it out of the dugout until it's tied. 0-2 pitch, swing and a miss. Eckstein strikes out. And this ball game is over as Alabama defeats the Florida Gators by a final score of 13-9. Florida gets 5 runs on 5 hits in the bottom of the 9th inning, facing 3 Alabama pitchers. But Roberto Vaz from Brooklyn, New York, by way of Northeast Texas Community College, gets the final out, and Alabama has the victory here in Gainesville. We'll be back with a final word after this timeout. You're watching college baseball on Sunshine.
Hi, Chuck. Here's lunch.
Thanks.
How's business?
Not bad. Yours?
It's okay. Hey, what's that on your screen?
Oh, that. QuickBooks accounting software from the makers of Quicken. I called a toll-free number and got a free trial version.
My system works fine for me.
That's what I thought. But if you have bills to pay or customers who owe you money, you really ought to try this.
Yeah, I really don't have time to learn new software.
Well, if you can write a check, you can use QuickBooks. Answer a few questions, and it tailors itself to your business. Now I create invoices like these.
Yeah, but my business is so different from yours.
Ah, but that's what makes QuickBooks so great. It's the #1 software for any small business. It has accounts payable, accounts receivable, even payroll and inventory, and you never have to enter information twice. There's over 60 customizable reports that put you in control. Know if you're making or losing money.
Sounds pretty good. I'm going to get that free trial version.
Nothing to lose.
Call 1-800-652-2112. That's 1-800-652-2112.
Florida Gator Baseball on Sunshine Network has been brought to you in part by Gatorade Thirst Quencher. For some, recess never ends. Life's a sport. Drink it up. By Bumper to Bumper. For quality automotive service and parts, call Bumper to Bumper at 1-800-888-4074. And by Longhorn Steakhouse. Oh, steak. Here at McKeithen Stadium, Perry Field, this afternoon and evening, the Crimson Tide of Alabama defeats the Florida Gators by a final score of 13-9. And as you mentioned, Nick, kind of a strange ball game. 2 grand slams, a triple play. But again, Florida, a starting pitcher gives up 11 hits in 4 innings, and a tough day when you're giving up runs inning after inning after inning.
Yeah, concern for Andy Lopez and Gary Henderson, the starting pitching and relieving just didn't do the job. But on the other side of the field, Jim Wells has to be happy with the Alabama offense. They were relentless all day long.
Alabama now 19-1 on the year. They're 4-1 in the Southeastern Conference. The Gators with the loss fall to 16-8. The Florida baseball team is now 3-2 in SEC play. But the triple play, something, if you don't get to see it often, we'll remember a long time. It started with a line drive to Mark Ellis.
Oh, the highlight for the Gators, at least offensively, Ellis almost had the 5 unassisted 3 triple play, but went 5-4-3 for the triple play, and one of the highlights offensively for the Gators.
Sunshine has great action coming your way in about 45 minutes live from over at the O'Connell Center. It'll be exciting NCAA women's basketball tournament action as the Lady Gators host the Golden Panthers of Florida International. It's 8:30 live right here on Sunshine Network. Please stay with us. That's going to do it from McKeithen Stadium, Perry Field. For John Liu and Nick Belmonte, I'm Larry Vittel. Thanks for joining us. Once again, the final score, Alabama 13, Florida 9. Good night from Gainesville.
Dear Carol, can you believe another year has passed? I still remember getting your first letter when